Microphone check. Now that I'm loud and clear, welcome one, welcome all. This is going to be another classic class here. Of course, y'all see the title. Title is the Tribology or the Tribology between 2 points is Polarity. This is a revisit in time crystals, and I got it's because a lot of people don't know what the hell light is. What's going on, Louisiana 365? What's up, Schumann Show? Thank you for showing up. Uh, Light equals dark over bright plus illuminate. Both darkness illuminates and brightness illuminates. These two account for what light is. Everybody assume light as to be this bright thing that's in front of you. No, that is one part of light. There's another part that comes before that. And what I'm going to show you in the definition of tribology or tribology, you would know what it is. Because I was going to title it, also put in the subtitles that most people don't know how to use crystals right. I was going to put that in the title, but I'm going to talk about it enough in this stream that you will know that most people who got crystals, they don't know how to use them. They don't, because they'll be talking about this science right here called tribology. But obviously they don't, from red pill to blue pill to all you motherfucker top motherfuckers to your bottom motherfuckers. Yeah, Didac is here to bring the real CONSCIENCE back. I'm bringing the real awareness with moral compass and ethics, dude. But before I get started, of course, we're going to hit it with a little tune. Like I said, I'm a different kind of DJ. I study music. And I would like to say this. This dude had a stream. He was talking about the music industry. He was trying to tell the people that he is involved. He's involved in the music industry, and he know how music go. Dog, if that was the case, man, you would not be in that box all day doing streams all day, every day. You're not involved in anything. What happens is this. It's called things for dummies. You can think of anything: medicine for dummies, music for dummies, banking for dummies. They got for dummies, things for dummies. And they converted that over to the computer. So a dummy can use the computer. A dummy can upload a software. A dummy then can learn patterns of music. I want to see this dude get a piece of paper, blank piece of paper, and a pen and write a melody. Then if you can do that, then I shut the fuck up about you knowing about music. Until then, nigga, shut the fuck up. And I don't need for you to go ahead. He's going to copy off a program that is already pre-programmed to help you write the music. They'll tell you where to put the note, what chord, what chord it goes under, all of that. But I'm just letting you know the dude can't read music. But with that being said, I follow the producer. I don't follow the rapper. Whoever the producers produce, and if it's fitting, then I will appeal to the rapper. But for the most part, I follow nothing but producers. All right. With that, the sonic sound that I am like attracted to say the least, you got your Zaytovens, 808 Mafia, which makes up of TM88 and Southside. You got a Day Trip. You got Pierre Bourne. You got Sunny Digital, of course, Metro Boomin. I mean, you got a slew of producers that's doing some good work. Wheezy out of here. You got a lot of people who's making some good music. I mean, it stemmed from Sleepy Brown and the Dungeon Family. That's where all that good sound stemmed from. And plus, they were majors at Morris Brown College. They were majors, music majors. So that's the reason why the sound sounds so good, and especially coming from the South, like David Banner. He copied off of big bands. And I guarantee you, if you ask that dude who was talking about music, have he ever been in a big band? He would look at you stupid like, huh? What you mean big band? A big band. You got a band, then you have big bands, and then you got orchestras. If he haven't been involved in none of those, he don't even tune instruments. It's not an instrument in his goddamn office or room or wherever the fuck he at. So he wouldn't even know how to tune anything. If I asked that nigga to tune a guitar to so many hertz, he'll look at you stupid. Oh, what's going on, D Calico? Shadow Band in the house. But yeah, before I get started off into this tribology, it is tribulation also. But before I get off into that, I'm going to play this hit. You understand? That speaks volumes. It don't speak volumes. It's just that the producers, they speak volumes. Trust me.
Hold up. Told that nigga get that pop star. Shit's running out from. Oh, yeah, spin another cock. Atlanta motherfucker, Atlanta nigga. Do it, don't it, that 200. I'm on the dance, I'm on the highway, whoa. Ride through, hanging out the window screen, whoa. I do the dance on these niggas, whoa. Count cash on the whoa. I'm smoking dough, I'm pulling lean, whoa. I make the make it blow the bang, whoa. Go crop and taggy, pocket taggy, swaggy, and I'm flashing. I powder over like a Nelly, no exaggeration. Diamond dancing on my face, on my preservation. Presidential status, I just work the cool to Bentley like I'm on a bench. Doing a out of magic, 360, man. I'm popping tags, I drop a cat, toe fitted, man. Free bad nigga, now I'm fucking hit it, man. It's on my city, man. Tip it is all raw. Whipping the hood like a wild body. Hang out the window like wild. Letting it off on the other side. I would have whipped on the other side. I hit the scene like a homicide. Splash. I told the jeweler bring everything. My feet to the floor, I'm on everything. Do it, don't it, that 200. I'm on the dance, I'm on the highway, whoa. Ride through, hanging out the window screen, whoa. I do the dance on these niggas, whoa. Count cash on the whoa. I'm smoking dough, I'm pulling lean, whoa. I bring the make it blow the bang. Maserati smashing now, future ride, Billy Q, that scooter ride, Billy Q, we do the shit that boss it. Real street shit, no rap, I'm worth a military. Scooter always flexing, now I pull up in embarrassment. Hit up Eliante, yeah, that's an ice trick. Real rap fake gold, real diamonds around my neck. Came up in the dope pole, remix on my dope dope. 150 in the fast lane, I'm smashing on you broke. Black Amigo guy, we love the counter. P.I.M.P, we blood brother. 500 in my blood, that's how I roll up. Blowing 50 in the club when we turn up. Count up. Do it, don't it, that 200. I'm on the dance, I'm on the highway, whoa. Ride through, hanging out smiling when the spread. Whoa, I do the dance on these niggas. Whoa, count cash on the whoa. I'm smiling though I'm pulling leave. Whoa, I made the bank, I brought the bang. What?
See, Zaytoven opened the door for all what we know now today in these young producers, especially Southside. Sonny Digital, I think he took kind of like a break, but he's still producing a little bit. But Metro Boomin and Weezy out of here, them motherfuckers hard at work. But like I said from before, rest in peace, Miss Metro Boomin, because you know his mother died. I think it was probably like a month, 2 months ago or something like that. But with that being said, I follow producers. I don't follow the rapper. So when you hear me playing my music, it's mostly for me following the producer. In this era, even in yesteryear, and you know, in my era, you know, Prince Paul, Hank Shock Lee, you know, I follow the producer. But in my era, you know, I follow the rapper. But today's era, I don't follow the rapper. I follow the producer. And if he find himself comfortable with the rapper, then I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. Listen to him like this dude right here. Like, I did not like him at first until I started listening to him through the production that I do like. And I said, okay, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes he do say some slick shit. And I'm talking about Lil Uzi Vert. And with that being said, I'm going to hit you with this one.
Let a nigga get inside. Got a well seat belt when you ride. I'm keeping my Jimmy on tight. I can count that shit with no eye. You kill my partner, we ride. Little nigga, we ain't let shit slide. Y'all niggas ain't let shit die. Yeah. Hit a nigga bitch outside. Then I put up the V-Live. And we had them sticks outside. Drinking on lean, I'm tired. Y'all niggas can't join my live. I ain't giving no high five. Y'all niggas fucking around and be wide. Yeah. Drop head phantom on me. Whole lot of hunters on me. Whole lot of rubber bands, nigga. Fuck a rubber band, nigga. Whole book bad me. 10 M's, yes, sir, ski. Whole lot of hoes, they ski. Cocaine white like tea. LA hoes on deck. 30 rounds hanging out the tech. Y'all niggas rookies, I'm a vet. Put a pee hole through your neck. I just wanna talk about a check. Made a quarter ticket about a vet. Savage still popping them sets. We were charging 10 for a verse. And I want 10 for a verse. Fuck that, nigga want 10 times 10 for a verse. 10 times 10 in your hearse. I don't go to church, I curse. I ain't tryna kiss that bitch, little bitch. I'ma put it on your chin when I burst. Hit your main bitch, yes, sirski. Doing donuts in a 6, yes, sirski. You got engaged, but she still want a slurpski. She double tap my picture, she so flirty. Draco with the drum, man, it's dirty. Pineapple crush, it's so dirty. Come and get your bitch, she so thirsty. I'm finna pass her to the gang, yes, sirski.
Yes, sirski. Fuck nigga came in his house. I ain't panic, no, I ain't hide. I ain't know the bitch was your bride. He tried to argue with me, then he got fired. I ain't wanna cap or lie. Me and her don't got ties. Watch how I walk, how I slide. Put your girlfriend on the block list, 1600, suicide squad. These niggas try to have beef with me, I don't even like shit that's fried. Broke nigga never pay 500 for some cod. Bitch, got my speakers up too loud, yeah. 2-door coupe on my ride, got your bitch ride shotgun, give me head nods, yeah. I'm in the stew all day, yeah. I can go verse for verse, yeah. I don't even pray cause I'm cursed, whoa. This for a Glock, not a purse, yeah. These niggas faking they life, yeah. These niggas taking fake perks, no. I know they stomachs all hurt. Dick too deep, her stomach hurt. Put that boy right on the shirt.
Hit your main bitch, yes, sirski. Doing donuts in a 6, yes, sirski. You got engaged, but she still want a slurpski. She double tap my picture, she so flirty.
Yes, sirski. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about that young producer, Pierre Bourne. Yeah, dude is he nice. But let's get to this topic at hand. This is a philosophical, intellectual, mathematical psyches class. And we're going to be talking about tribology. And if the distance between 2 points is polarity, we should start looking up some words here. And with that, this is what we're going to do right here, though. We're going to go share out. We're going to share this definition. And we're going to go through some definitions before we dive off into it. All right. All right. Share. All right. Let me move my thing out of the way. What is tribology? All right. Remember, Didac told you this, but it's nothing new up under the sun, but still yet to be discovered. So I'm leading a horse to water, but I can't make it drink. But once y'all drink that water, I'll be goddamn if y'all don't tell people that y'all found the water hole yourself, which y'all didn't. I'm just tooting my horn here. All right. This is the definition of tribology. All right. Let me pull back. Let me go ahead and enlarge that for you. Especially look at the semicolons. After the semicolons, then that's the definition that truly explains this. But if you look at it, it says the study of friction, wear and tear, lubrications like lubricating gears, oils on gears, practical shit, dude. I'm preparing you so when you meet opportunity, you can take advantage of it. Either you're going to forge the opportunity or you're going to, what's his name? You're going to recognize the opportunity. But while I got this definition up, it's important that I do. But let me go through this definition because I want to go through I want to go through this quick lesson on what is fallacies. And I'm going to show you what people are doing just to get the view, just to get views. This is, damn, I hate to talk about my people, but y'all need to hear this. Y'all need to hear this. Y'all are attracted to the wrong motherfuckers. There shouldn't be no way in hell that Dr. Umar Johnson should be still doing what he's doing. There's no way in hell that Brother Polite should be doing what he's doing. Sanchez's, OG Phillies, to say the least. The Red Squids, all these people shouldn't be able to do what they're doing, but it's y'all, it's the people. Y'all are the enablers. Y'all the one that gives these people permission to lie to y'all. Remember in the movie Hustle and Flow, remember DJ told his white broad to go fuck that white man for the microphone? And remember she told him that I need my head to be messed with. I allow you to do that. That's what the fuck you saying, like you saying to Sanchez, like, you can mess with my head, but the moment you ask me to suck a dick for a microphone, that's when I'm going to buck and kick at you. The fuck, y'all some backwards ass motherfuckers. I do not appeal to masses. Like I said, this shit is not for the weak. It's not for the faint-hearted, man. This is for highly level and skilled people. And that's who I am appealing to. I'm not appealing to you dumb motherfuckers. But nonetheless, tribulation or tribology or tribulation is the study of friction, wear, lubrication, and the design of bearings. So you get on a motorcycle every day, you drive your cars, people got cars. Y'all don't know the basic functions of mechanics and what the fuck is going on and the science of what's going on. But here I am again Chichi, you dumbass motherfucking niggas. You know what? I'm going to stop. Let me pull back on that. I'm so sorry. Let me pull back. But here I am. I'm trying to give y'all some information. But the real definition is the science of interacting surfaces in relative motion. Do you remember I told y'all about the modal window? I am the modal. Y'all have no modality. Hey, damn it. Stop doing that, didact. Stop talking about people. But fuck, y'all deserve to be talked about because I'm fit to show you something that y'all all do and y'all need to wake the fuck up. Y'all let Red Squids and fucking Sanchez's and even red and blue pills and I would even throw in a motherfucking mix of goddamn of Young Pharaoh and Minister Inky. Y'all let these motherfuckers pull the wool over your eye because you know why? This is what the fuck y'all do. And I'm finna show you in definition. But let's look at this. Let's burn it into our brain because I'm finna show you what the fuck these people do, man. So I'm gonna open up another window here. It's gonna be real quick and simple. I think it's gonna be like not even a 4-minute video. So let me share this screen. What's going on, Mind's Eye? What's going on? Glad that you're here. Going to YouTube. All right. Everything is looking beautiful. So let me go to my history. And we're going to look at this.
In this video, I will explain the logical fallacy called the appeal to the masses, also known as the appeal to the general form, explain why.
Now, this is a fallacy called appealing to the masses.
Is a mistake.
Damn it. This is a fallacy called appealing to the masses. Now, I know y'all heard me say this before, and I told you one of the biggest ones who do this is Mental Ninja. He gets y'all every time with this shit. He came on OG Philly channel and just appealed to the masses. He was able to get across all his dumbass shit because, hey, man, I'm just letting you know 65% of your shit is suspect. It's suspect and pseudo. Like I said, I want to use the song Studio by Phil Collins to express y'all niggas how suspect and pseudo y'all are. So the song goes studio. It almost sounds like it's saying pseudo and suspect. And that is my coin phrase word. Y'all are pseudo. Suspect and pseudo is a motherfucker. So what they do, they appeal to the masses. So now, don't let me talk. I'm gonna let this dude. He sound like he's from India, but he look like he speaks clear English. So if you got a motherfucking cricket phone and you got problems, and you call a motherfucking they line, that shit goes straight to India. So I think we probably used to the voice because they got all the call centers now. All the call centers are in India, damn near. But with that being said, let's play this and let's listen closely to what appealing to the masses is.
Appeal to the masses, also known as the appeal to popularity. In this video, I will explain the logical fallacy called the appeal. In this video, I will explain the logical fallacy called the appeal to the masses, also known as the appeal to popularity or jumping on the bandwagon. I'll begin with the general form, explain why it is a mistake, and use some examples of people making this sort of mistake. Hopefully, by the end of the video, you will be able to spot and deal with this fallacy. The appeal to the masses is a logical fallacy that is very common. You might well see it in some form or another every day. The general form is as follows. Some idea A is popular. Lots of people believe in or follow this idea.
Roe versus Wade, that flat earth shit, These are all popular button point topics that really doesn't mean anything. So this is what they mean by appealing to the masses and bandwagon jumping, because they get a hot topic and they just sit on it and act like they got all the information in the world. But let's go.
Therefore, A is true. The idea A must be good or correct because of its popularity. The conclusion here is fallacious. Nothing has been presented to suggest that the idea A is correct. I am not denying its popularity. It may well be popular, but this is irrelevant when it comes to determining whether it is true. It is a mistake to think that an idea is correct simply because it is popular. Popularity is not a reliable indicator for value. Of course, it is equally wrong to say that idea A is false just because it is presented as a fallacy. It could be true, it could be false, but popularity is a bad indicator either way. It is irrelevant. If you do
And just to let you know, I do not appeal to masses, nor do I appeal to authority. As you can see, my motherfucking topics are not popular. They're not famous. They're not buzz talking points. This shit that, for the most part, because I have done my due diligence as a young man, as a researcher, as a scholar. I had an extensive library. It's just unfortunate how I lost the library. It's very unfortunate how I lost that library. But people who know me, they can vouch and they can tell you that Didac had a very extensive library, not only coming from the medical library, but coming from UWM's library, MATC's library, of course, the public library, Milwaukee College of Wisconsin library. These are the libraries that I've been floating in and taking books out of, stealing them, stealing the books. Oh, especially school. Oh my God. They never seen a textbook come back from me. And I had all these books. And unfortunately, how I lost them, that's a long story, and I'm not going to go into it. It was two waves of it, though. Because one wave, it took like 1/3 of my library. Then the other wave, it was just all of it gone. But because I store memory so well, that when the internet came out, I knew then that my research is at my fingertips. And I'm letting you know, for I'm talking about, you know what? I'm going to say 95% of the people that I deal with in the community, they do not know how to search properly on the internet to find resources and to bag them up with references and peer review. I do. I do. And with that, I toot my horn. And because of that, when I bring up topics and I know they're not popular to people, what it's going to force your ass to do is going to make you go and research the shit. You have the same tool that I use in terms of a computer, but it's how you use the motherfucker. Like I said, these spooks and these goddamn crackpots will have you thinking certain tools are the devil. The reason why alligators are ornery is because all those teeth are in their head and they can't brush their teeth. That's what mama said. So you're going to keep believing your mama and not do your motherfucking research. But let's push on what a fallacy is.
do want to determine the truth value, find a better argument and avoid logical fallacies. Conclusion here is fallacious. The appeal to the masses is a logical fallacy that is very common. You might well see it in some form or another every day. The general form is as follows. Some idea A is popular. Lots of people believe in or follow this idea. Therefore, A is true. The idea A must be good or correct because of its popularity. The conclusion here is fallacious. Nothing has been presented to suggest that the idea A is correct. I am not denying its popularity. It may well be popular, but this is irrelevant when it comes to determining whether it is true. It is a mistake to think that an idea is correct simply because it is popular. Popularity is not a reliable indicator for value. Of course,
The flat earth community right now, in the last, I would say, 5 to 6 years, I would probably even stretch that from the last 5 to 8 years, is popular. It's not true. It's just popular, and it appeals to the masses. Let's continue.
it is equally wrong to say that idea A is false just because it is presented as a fallacy. It could be true, it could be false, but popularity is a bad indicator either way. It is irrelevant. If you do want to determine the truth value, find a better argument and avoid logical fallacies. Let's look at some examples of this fallacy. The first example should come as no surprise to those of you who have children or indeed still remember your own childhood. Remember the time when all of your friends had the latest toy, or wanted to do something or go somewhere that now seems dangerous. You asked your parents if you could join in, and your parents said no. You then said, "But everyone's doing it." This example must seem familiar to most people, and so you know what comes next. Your parents say, "And if they all jump off a cliff, do you follow them?" Of course not. We understand the dangers of doing or believing something simply because lots of other people also do. Just because lots of people do it doesn't make it right, and no amount of people jumping off a cliff is going to make it the right thing to do. The next example should also seem familiar to many people. It concerns advertising. I'm sure you have seen an advert for a product. Maybe it's toothpaste, maybe it's detergent, or maybe it's good old shampoo. It doesn't really matter what the product is, but in the advert, they might claim it to be the #1 toothpaste or most popular shampoo in the whole country. Now, it might well be the most popular product, but does this mean it is the best?
And tell me not that these people do not advertise themselves as such. This again is a fallacy. It's called appealing to the masses. Is a logical fallacy. This is a bad thing here, not a good thing. It's a bad thing here. And tell me not that these motherfuckers do not uh, make themselves and use advertise. They don't tell me that they don't advertise themselves like they the best shit that's out here. Let's go.
No, not necessarily. It might be the best shampoo, but it might not be. Popularity is not a reliable indicator. At best, it tells you that the marketing company is very good at making people believe that the shampoo is worth buying. But this is not the same as the shampoo actually being good, let alone the best. The final example concerns ethics and morality, specifically the idea that the most ethical thing to do will be the most popular thing to do. For this, we only need look back at recent human history and find examples of things that seem ethical today but were unpopular at the time. For example, affording women the right to vote. In the UK, it wasn't until the year 1928 that women were first afforded the same voting rights as men. But even in the preceding 100 years, this idea was not always a popular one. It is easy for us to sit here today and say that the ethical thing to do is give women the right to vote. And I think it is fair to say that this idea is popular today. But
Now, I had to pause it just to remind y'all. Remember, I talked about ethics and morals and the conscious one that carries it, the word that carries ethics and morals. The word, right? Because I do got a P.I.M.P class that's privacy frequency unknown. But right now we in a P.I.M.P class, but I'm still talking about a spell here. The word that gives you the moral compass, The ethics, what he's talking about here, is the CONSCIENCE. And tell me that a part of the fucking community is trying to make in front of that word, trying to down the word. Because you know why? They seen me coming. The ops know that I'm here. They seen me coming because I professed this shit on Sonetter's shit. But I was in his chat room professing it. I wasn't on his panel. I was in his chat room letting everybody know there is a new day here. The conscious community as you know it, spelled CONSCIIOUS, is over. That movement is over. I'm ushering in a new conscious movement. To make it sound different from the word is conscientious, but it's still meaning the same thing as conscience. CONSCIENCE is what I'm pushing. What y'all pushing is the IOUS. Y'all pushing that conscious. And that shit is dead. You remember I made the analogy from taking it from Coming to America, when that dude fell down the steps and he said, "You hear me, you conscious motherfucker," because he was trying to play a game. Now, if he had morals and ethics, I'm just saying, if it was written into the lexicon, he wouldn't have tried to fall down the stairs and play hurt to get out of rent. He would have just approached the man with dignity, with his chin up, and say, "Hey, give me a few more weeks on my motherfucking rent." And it still would have said the same thing. But of course, we got to write it in comedy. And when they wrote it in comedy, guess what the motherfucker told him? "You conscious, nigga." The conscious, that's the CONSCIOUS, nigga. And that's what y'all are. Y'all that conscious. Let's go.
But if we rely on popularity, then ideas like this might never have become a reality in the first place. Sometimes the most ethical course of action is not popular, but sometimes it is, and so we should not rely on popularity to determine whether it is ethical. When you see someone use this fallacy, avoid the temptation to correlate popularity with the truth or ethics. Consider the proposition on its own, as popularity is not a reliable indicator. And as always, politely point out the mistake they have made. Avoiding logical fallacies will make for better discussions. Well, that concludes the video.
And I'd be motherfucking goddamn if I don't try to politely point out their goddamn fallacies. But of course, these are hard heads that make soft asses. And with that, you got to give them to them raw. With that being said, let's go back to this definition of tribology. Because what we're going to show today, again, I'm going to show you properly to prepare yourself so you can prevent a poor performance. But that's not that part of the class. But this is going to show you properly how to use your fucking crystals. I remember one time I seen Noble Noof with a whole headband of crystals on. I'm saying to myself, do he know how to use those? Or he's just wearing them for a fashion purpose? Because your motherfucking crystals ain't working if you don't got friction behind them. If you don't got no friction behind them motherfuckers, they are not working at all. And with that, let's go back to my share screen. On the word tribology, because remember I gave you the definition of topology, which is spelled, it looks like the word topology, but you don't pronounce it like that. It's pronounced topology. But let's look at this one right here. Let me remove this banner out of the way so we can see the definition. All right. Let me move this up, move this over. All right, blow it up just a tad bit. All right. The study of friction, wear, lubrication, and the design of bearings, the science of interacting surfaces and relative motion. Okay. Why did I name this title this? And why did I say between 2 points is polarity? Because people think polarity is what Sanchez says, and he's not using that correct because polarity ain't that. Polarity is when the opposing, it's almost like the same energy but opposite. So of course you go say poles, but the motherfucker only talk one side, north. That's not a polarity. Polarity is north and south, east and west, up and down. Even the dude, I think that he is not smart at all. Like I said, there's a lot of people out here that's, yeah, that by default, you throw enough darts at a dartboard, you would hit the motherfucking target. And I'm talking about Barbara Richard. I'm probably saying his name wrong or name right, but he had a string that was almost like borderline ride my motherfucking wave. And he was talking about polarities because I got polarity in my motherfucking title, but it ain't nothing new up under the sun. Still yet to be discovered because y'all haven't discovered this one. And with that being said, I can lead a horse to water but can't make it drink. With that, he had a similar explanation to what I'm about to explain about polarity, because polarity is the opposite of what is what matches or what equals to that. Because if you look at my pound sign or my subtitle, light is equal to what is darkness and what is bright. What is dark and what is bright are the polars. That's the polarity that gives you what you assume to be light. Light is what is dark and what is bright. The opposite of dark is bright, not light. You have been bamboozled. You have been hoodwinked, wool pulled over your eye to make you think that light is bright. When light is not bright, light is both light is both dark and bright. And which one comes first? The darkness. And a lot of people want to deny that because this is what they do not understand. It's not a denial. It's just that they're what they don't understand, right? Because what is hidden is what's first. And with that being said, when you look at the word polarity, people assume it to be what this dude has taught them, that it's supposed to be this one pole. No, polarity is just what I explained. It's two sides. So now that we know that 2 points is the polarity in tribology, because you're gonna take your north pole and your south pole and you're gonna cause friction in between the two. Rather, if the friction is touching, which they call a brush motor, or when they are not touching, which they call a brushless motor. Brush motor, brushless motor. Yeah, I'm emphasizing that because I done taught this to y'all before in practicality. Because if you take a drill and you break it down, it's either one or the two. Is brushing up against the magnets to create the electricity, or it's away from it, or they got neodynamic they have neodynamic magnets where they don't have to rub against each other in order to create energy. That's what you call a brushless motor. But in that is the study of friction, because friction creates energy. And I'd be damned, none of these dudes are creating no energy. They ain't telling you to put your crystals in what they call tribology. or tribulation. They don't tell you to do that with your motherfucking crystals. I'm telling you now, this is what you do to activate your crystals. You don't sit them out in the sun and you think you activating them. No, you gotta put them through this process of tribulation, and through tribulation, you will get a luminescence. Now, like I said, this is a formula that is universal because people do not know how to talk mathematics and algebra. This shit goes over their head, but I'm going to go ahead and write the formula for you. So let me go ahead and share my picture and show you the simple formula for what light is, because people don't know what the fuck light is. I'm going to erase all of this. Oh, I got that on there. It's crazy. This is the formula. Simple. Light, darkness, it equals darkness over bright plus illumination. That is the formula. Light equals darkness over brightness plus illumination. Illumination is both darkness and brightness. How we equate that, what we equal that to, we equal that to light. But most people will misappropriate it. Again, like I said, appealing to the masses. Appealing to the masses. Y'all need to be warned about that. That's what these people are doing. I'm teaching you something other than that. And with that being said, that is the simple formula right there for what light is. Light is darkness and brightness. Which creates a luminescence. I might have spelled that wrong, but a luminescence. This is what light is. Light equals darkness over brightness. It ain't brightness over darkness. It is the common denominator. This is your common denominator. You know, everybody, this is the common denominator. Everybody wants the brightness. Everybody wants to see what the fuck is going on. So this is what we are put the umbrella on. Light, 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 light. And I was overhearing on Philly OG's channel about somebody just screaming light, 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 and don't know what the fuck light is. They don't know what it is. It's just a buzzword that sounds good. And of course, it's applied to our everyday lives. So if I tell you, excuse me, turn on the light or turn off that light or give me a light, you know what I'm saying? It sounds, it's comfortable and it's weaving into our everyday conversation. So when you hear people thinking that they're teaching about light, only thing they're doing is just saying the word. You're not teaching about what is light. What is light? It ain't, please don't say human beings and all this shit. No, give me the true definition to what light is. So this is what I'm doing now. Light, again, this is darkness. People don't look at this number when they're talking about fractions. They're looking at this number right here. This is the common denominator. And everybody that has what in common is brightness. That's what everybody wants to see. Turn on the light. Give me a light. Light, light, light. But it's really saying turn on the brightness. Turn on the brightness. when you're talking about give me a light and you associate that with fire, you're really saying give me fire. But because it illuminates, we automatically put it under the umbrella of light. But light is not that. But light is that. Light is just all the equals of darkness, brightness, and illumination. That's what light is. It is darkness over brightness plus illumination equals light. When you write it in formula, it goes backwards. So when a dumbass motherfucker like a Key Norfolk or a Bobby or anybody like that would tell you that you don't need algebra to get through life, I feel sorry for your mama. What you say about my mama? Let us move on. So now that we got that, what I really want to talk about is these crystals. We're going to talk about something real simple, the crystals, the quartz. We're going to look at the quartz crystal in terms of the positive and negative. Now, these are two crystals that any and everybody can go out there and get. And with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share just a little bit in terms of what we supposed to be doing with these quartz crystals. Now, like I said, if it was a thing within the conscious community, I swear to God, this would be normal in the lexicon. This word tribology would be automatic in the lexicon, especially those who sell crystals. I don't know, because I haven't heard, and I have my ear to the ground and my motherfucking eyes on the prize. And with that, I never heard nobody talk about tribulation or tribology with crystals. Never. But now we're going to talk about them today, though. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pull back. I'm finna share my screen on this one. And we finna get off into another little infomercial, to say the least. A little infomercial explaining what it is, what I'm talking about. It's real quick. Hold on. All right. I know it's somewhere up in here. I'm not going to hit y'all with that one. Hold on. All right. Let me go up here because they... All right. Here we go. Let's go.
It's really dark outside.
So the bigger rocks worked a lot better.
As you can see, I'm already halfway through it, to say the least, because I've been watching it a lot. But it ain't all 6 minutes that I have to show you. But pay attention to what is being said right now.
To make a cold light wand using triboluminescence. Today I'm going to be attempting to make a cold light wand using triboluminescence from quartz crystals. So I bought these giant quartz crystals off of Amazon. Now, companies have been scamming people selling them quartz as energy crystals for a long time, and that's what these were for. But today the joke's on them, because I'm actually going to be extracting real energy from these quartz crystals. And
La da 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 da, la da 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 da, da 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 da. Jokes on you. Da 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 da. Jokes on you. I don't know if y'all remember that from Family Guy. Oh my God. La da 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 da. Joke's on you. Joke's on you. And I'm letting you know that motherfucking, let's go back to the beginning. The blue, red pills, all these people who wear their crystals from Noble Noon, all the motherfuckers who claim they crystallologists and all that shit. Da 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 da. Joke's on you. Let's go.
Everybody, today I'm going to be attempting to make a cold light wand using triboluminescence from quartz crystals. So I bought these giant quartz crystals off of Amazon. Now, companies have been scamming people selling them quartz as energy crystals for a long time, and that's what these were for. But today the joke's on them because I'm actually going to be extracting real energy from these quartz crystals. And
damn, I gotta do that again. Da 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 da. Joke's on you. Da da da.
Interesting thing happens when you break quartz crystals. On one side of the crystal that got broke, there's a positive charge, and on the other one, there's a negative charge. And that creates an extremely high voltage between the two, and the charges can jump from one side to the other. So the electrons jump through the air, and it creates a plasma or a little spark when it jumps across. So in order to see this, we need to break these crystals. Now, one good way to break the crystals a bunch of times in a row to keep continuous light is just to rub the two together. Okay, now watch this. This phenomenon is called triboluminescence. And people sometimes call this cold fire because the sparks that form are actually hot, but they produce a lot of light. So this won't start a fire or anything, but you could light your way with it. Triboluminescence has been known for a long time. In fact, it's said that the indigenous Ute tribes of America that
Da 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 da. Joke's on you. La 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 la. Now let's go look up the U tribe. Shall we? Shall we go look up? No. You know what? I'm gonna give y'all an assignment for the people who are listening. According to my stream, y'all, let me see. I got 4 people listening. For the people who are listening, hey, it's on y'all to do this. You tried because he's let's rewind. Da 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 da. Shit.
but you could light your way with it. Triboluminescence has been known for a long time. In fact, it's said that the indigenous Ute tribes of America thousands of years ago said that the indigenous Ute tribes of America 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 luminescence has been known for a long time. In fact, it's said that the indigenous Ute tribes of America luminescence has been known for a long time. In fact, it's said that the indigenous Ute tribes of America luminescence has been known for a long time. In fact, it's said that the indigenous Ute tribes of America.
Why the fuck Big Aboriginal Power? Why the fuck Chief Holiday? Why the fuck none of these motherfucking Aboriginal motherfucking movements is teaching you about this? Joke's on you. Dude, I'm giving you your science backs by the way of the Agdad. Thank me later. No, you can thank me now. Fuck that later shit. No, you can thank me motherfucking now. I feel like Drake in this bitch. You can thank me now. The Agdad is paving the way for me to unlock all this shit for y'all. So if y'all want to get spooky with it, y'all can get spooky with it. But if you want to be practical with it, you can be very practical with it. Jokes on you. I think it's just probably like another 45 seconds I'm going to go on this.
Thousands of years ago, gathered quartz crystals for a long time. In fact, it's said that the indigenous Ute tribes of America. Triboluminescence has been known for a long time. In fact, it's said that the indigenous Ute tribes of America thousands of years ago gathered quartz crystals and put them in buffalo hide. So basically they made quartz rattles with a little bit of skin around it that could let through light. And when they would shake those rattles during ceremonial dances at night, it would emit light. Now, I saw a lot of places that talked about this, but I never saw one that's actually working. So I wanted to test if that's really true. Can you actually have a rattle that emits light by shaking it just by putting a bunch of quartz crystals in it? Not just quartz. You can pretty much get this to work with
Oh, what I'm going to show you, I'm pushing it ahead where he actually got it to work. Watch.
like sticky tape, scotch tape. When you pull it apart, you can
Hold on, let me pull it back because it's somewhere up in here. Because he crushes it right there. Let me see if it's here.
These larger crystals worked a lot better. I really had to shake it to get hardly any light out of it, but it did work. So it's definitely plausible to make a rattle out of this where you can shake it and see light when it's really dark outside.
Now you hear him shaking it, you see those sparks that do come to life. He ain't shaking it hard. That's a white man. He lacks soul. But I'm going to try to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he got a little bit of spirit. So a little bit of light flicker. But with that being said, if he has soul, like how we got and how we shake tambourines and what's those masakas? I can't fucking get the name out. The musaka. I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry. I'm saying it wrong. But if it's like the rattle. But if when we shake them with soul, them motherfuckers will light up. So why did I title my thing the tribology, the distance between two poles is a polarity? Because I just showed you in this thing where he was showing you polarities, the plus and the negative. When these 2 points come together, they will create a luminescence. What they calling it in science is called tribo. Tribo is the study of friction, gears, shit that comes together, bearings, shit that works. I don't know if y'all ever seen a clock. A clock, you got to be a tribologist to do a clock because the clock depends on a whole shitload of gears. We already did the definition of it, of what tribology is. So I don't have to go back through the definition. But what I am going to do is that I'm going to revisit. We finna revisit what I showed you a long time ago, and I got a funny feeling people are gonna try to jump on this this wave that I'm gonna make popular. So what it's gonna do is gonna create an appeal for mass, appealing to the masses or appealing to authority. So with that being said, what I want to do is I'm finna go ahead and let me go ahead and do this right quick. Where I'm at, right here. All right. We gonna go from a different one because I do fuck with Action Lab, but we're gonna do something different. All right. First, before we get off into that, let's see if I got it. Do I got it in here? Let me make sure. Let me go back to history. All right. I think it was this one that I was looking at, but it was something I want. Is this one it?
Systems by nature are fragile.
Yeah, I think this one is it.
Here, inside this refrigerator, at a temperature just a tick above absolute zero, isolated from the rest of the universe, is a quantum computer. If you believe the hype, this nascent technology embodies the promise of the future and has the potential to revolutionize our lives with its turbocharged computation. But quantum computers aren't the next generation of supercomputers. They're something else entirely. And before we can even begin to talk about their potential applications, we need to understand the fundamental physics that drives the theory of quantum computing. We'll need to dive into another dimension, smaller and more alien than anything we intuitively understand: the subatomic world of quantum mechanics. In the 1980s, one of the most important physicists of the 20th century encountered a major roadblock. Richard Feynman was hungry for a window into the quantum universe. But quantum systems, by nature, are fragile, and the information they hold hides from us. Because Feynman couldn't directly observe quantum events, he wanted to design a simulation. It quickly became clear that his computer wasn't up to the task.
Oh, let me say this for all y'all motherfucking conspiracy theorists. I guess all the American tax money was wasted on these people too, to make like people are busy, but we really can't accomplish this shit. This is what they're saying, because they say that about NASA. They said NASA cannot accomplish what they said that they did. So it's safe to say about quantum computers, which was being done back in the fucking 70s and the 80s, because I'm going to show you also that's the reason why I call myself the Auto Man. I've been calling myself that for a while. And with that being said, I'm going to show you the Auto Man is your first quantum computer. So when Sanchez was trying to give you the lowdown on what he thought was the holographic world, nigga, I've been up on that since the 80s. Since the 80s. I was mesmerized as a child on the Auto Man. Mesmerized. So you can imagine how long I've been carrying this name. So when he was talking about his blue holographic shit, I knew he was talking pseudo shit. Sus pseudo, nigga. That's exactly what he is. But let's continue with the real shit.
As he added particles to the quantum systems he was modeling, the cost of computation began to rise exponentially. Feynman concluded that classical computers just can't scale up fast enough to keep pace with the growing complexity of quantum calculations. Then he had a breakthrough. What if he could design a tool made up of quantum elements itself? This instrument would operate according to the laws of quantum physics, making it the perfect way to probe the mysteries of the quantum realm. The idea of the quantum computer was born, and by dreaming it up, Feynman had started to build a bridge between quantum physics and computer science. To understand how quantum computing works, it's essential to start by understanding what makes it quantum in the first place. This means that we need to talk about what's at the heart of quantum physics, a concept called amplitudes.
Quantum mechanics, at its core, is a change to the rules of probability. And this is also where the power of quantum computing comes from these different rules of probability than the ones that we are used to.
Quantum physics and quantum computing is going to be able to break the law of probabilities. So in other words, there's a strong probability what goes up, must come down. That's a strong probability. But in quantum physics and quantum computing, what goes up gonna stay up. Let's push on.
For example, if you want to know the classical probability of an event, say a coin landing tails exactly 10 times out of 20, you add up the probabilities of all the different ways that event could happen. That's just common sense. But common sense doesn't govern the quantum universe. Before you measure a subatomic particle, you can think about it as a wave of probability that exists in a kind of black box, a quantum system with many different chances of being in many different places.
Amplitudes are closely related to probabilities, but they're not probabilities. A key difference is, well, probability is always a number from 0 to 1. Amplitudes are complex numbers. And what this means is that they obey different rules. If I want to know the total amplitude for something to happen, I have to add up the amplitudes for all the different ways that it could have happened. But when I add up amplitudes, I see something new, which is that a particle might reach a certain place one way with a positive amplitude and another way with a negative amplitude. And if that
Has anybody ever seen the movie Infinity Wars? I think it's Infinity Wars, not the End Game. Infinity Wars. Do you remember when Doctor Strange was going through a motion and the one lady that looked like a bug, she said, "Is your friend okay? Do he supposed to be doing that?" And he was going through plenty dimensions. That was at amplitude. That he was going through quantum fixes. He was going through what they call amplitude. He was seeing all the probabilities and possibilities on how this shit can end. And him being the wizard, of course, he found the one that he had to pick in order for it to end the way it was going to end. Only the wizards who can go in forward, go backwards, go between dimensions. I'm a wizard. A few other people are wizards, but we ain't going to say no names. But with that being said, we know how to go in between time. We know how to time travel. So we know how to quantify what we're doing. Unlike these other dumb motherfuckers, Noble, Noof, they will misguide you in terms of what they're talking about in terms of quantum intelligence. Because that's where we at. We pass artificial, nigga. We in quantum intelligence. But let's go.
happens, then those two amplitudes can cancel each other out so that the total amplitude would be 0. And that would mean that that thing would never happen at all. This is sort of the central thing that quantum mechanics says about the world, right? That the way that you describe a physical system is by a list of amplitudes. And the way that a physical system changes over time is by a linear transformation of these.
My fault. I thought I had the visual with the audio, but I see that I didn't. So I'm going to start it right there.
And by dreaming it up, Feynman had started to build a bridge between quantum physics and computer science. To understand how quantum computing works, it's essential to start by understanding what makes it quantum in the first place. This means that we need to talk about what's at the heart of quantum physics, a concept called amplitudes.
Quantum mechanics at its core is a change to the rules of probability. And this is also where the power of quantum computing comes from these different rules of probability than the ones that we are used to.
For example, if you want to know the classic probability of an event, say a coin landing tails exactly 10 times out of 20, you add up the probabilities of all the different ways that event could happen. That's just common sense. But common sense doesn't govern the quantum universe. Before you measure a subatomic particle, you can think about it as a wave of probability that exists in a kind of black box, a quantum system with many different chances of being in many different places.
Amplitudes are closely related to probabilities, but they're not probabilities. A key difference is, well, probability is always a number from 0 to 1. Amplitudes are complex numbers. And what this means is that they obey different rules. If I want to know the total amplitude for something to happen, I have to add up the amplitudes for all the different ways that it could have happened. But when I add up amplitudes, I see something new, which is that a particle might reach a certain place one way with a positive amplitude and another way with a negative amplitude. And if that happens, then those two amplitudes can cancel each other out so that the total amplitude would be zero. And that would mean that that thing would never happen at all. This is sort of the central thing that quantum mechanics says about the world, right? That the way that you describe a physical system is by a list of amplitudes. And the way that a physical system changes over time is by a linear transformation of these amplitudes.
But how can quantum computers use amplitudes to store and manipulate information quantumly? This is a qubit. It's the basic computational unit in quantum computing. Qubits are like bits in a classical computer, but with a crucial difference. A bit is binary. It stores information in strings of binary digits that can only be 0 or 1.
I have to pause that. Ooh, wee! You motherfucker right, I had to pause that. Go. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Only I, Didek, taught this in terms of the exchange of the 0 and the 1. Long up on it before that anybody was up on it. And I was telling you, those are interchangeable. Your 1 is your 0 and your 0 is your 1 in binary code. And people don't understand that. And when I was talking about the byte and the bit, and then I made the reference to the goddamn vampire, where people. 1 second.
But qubits are made of subatomic particles, so they operate according to subatomic logic.
Like I was saying, my fault, I had to take care of something. I gave this information a long time ago, and as a matter of fact, it was on Huey's panel when I was talking about the byte and the bit, and motherfuckers was trying to ride it and didn't understand what they was on. They didn't understand the wave that they was riding, and with that, this is what I was talking about. I was long ahead of my time in terms of that. So now here we are, say 1 year later, and now this is a thing. Now the 1 is being switched with the 0 and the 0 being switched with 1. How did I know this, that this binary code existed? The Agda. I told y'all about that. I told y'all about it. I broke the math down. I broke, if you look at my streams, you will know that I broke this shit down like 100,000 times. So now here is science using this to create the quantum computer. And we're going to get off into that because this quantum computer is made up of time crystals. That's the reason why I got it titled the way I got it titled. The tribology between 2 points is polarity, a revisit in time, semicolon, crystals, the time crystals. These are what going into your quantum computers, self-isolating crystals, meaning that it's just creating pure energy. It doesn't need, it needs the friction, but it don't need anything outside of itself to create the friction. This is what time crystals are. These are being placed into these quantum computers right now for everybody to jump on the bandwagon of the metaverse. That's a bandwagon. That's a fallacy, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all don't know what came behind, what came before that. Remember, I try to tell y'all about Michael Barber. Michael Barber is the one that's responsible for what you know now in terms of the metaverse. He was the one that developed the magnetic resonance imagery machine. They used that first to see if they can read bone density, and then they took it and fucking started reading the brain waves with it in people's dreams, and they were able to take those waves and actually create the dream, recreate the dream on television as a visual, as a video. It's the technology is still fuzzy, but now it's not anymore with quantum computing. Quantum computing is going to be able to take your dreams and place the motherfucker on a screen so we can see them like a television show. But right now, they are still gathering the information, especially through the public, through the metaverse. That's the reason why the Oculus is so important. The Oculus is not for you to vision. The Oculus is actually reading you. It's going through your Medell window. It needs to go through your Medell window before it can access your brain, meaning this, it has to go through your child window before it can activate the parent window. Why do you think the saying goes, I'm talking about the religious zealots, when they say the only way through the Father is through the Son? That is a mechanic. That's how shit works, period. So when they say that, that's by default. That's by default. So it ain't nothing special in terms of that, but the zealous, dogmatic religion would, they made it off into what they made it. But in the practical world, especially in computing, in order for you to get to the parent window, you must first go through the Medell window. Once you interact with the first Medell window, then you get to the parent window. We don't went through that with the interfacing of the computer and what it means to be a Medell window, because a lot of y'all don't have no modality at all. So you're not a Medell window. And if a person came along to be your Medell window, you wouldn't even recognize them as the Medell window, because you know why? You full of shit. That's why. But let us move on.
Qubits can be 0, 1, or what we call a linear combination of 0 and 1. This fluid combination of amplitudes is at the core of quantum computing. Before you measure a qubit, it exists in a state called superposition. You can think about it as a quantum version of a probability distribution, where each qubit has some amplitude for being 0 and some amplitude for being 1. Superposition is the reason why it takes a vast number of classical bits to describe the quantum state of even a tiny number of particles. When two or more qubits are in this closed state of superposition, they relate to one another through the phenomenon of entanglement. This means that their final outcomes, when we measure them, are mathematically related.
The key concept for understanding how quantum computing can be powerful compared to classical computing is what we call quantum entanglement. And that is the word we use for the characteristic correlations among parts of a quantum system, which are different from the correlations that we normally encounter in the classical world in ordinary experience. You could think of it as like a book. When you look at the pages one at a time, you don't see any information, you just see random gibberish. It's because the information isn't encoded in the individual pages, but in the correlations among them. And to read the book, you have to collectively observe many pages at once. It turns out, and this is part of what's so interesting, that if you want to describe very highly entangled states using ordinary bits, it's extremely expensive.
Imagine that you had a primitive 10-qubit computer. It could store 2 to the 10th power values in parallel. To describe this entangled configuration with a classical computer, you'd need 2 kilobytes, or 16,000 bits. Expand to a system with 500 entangled qubits, and you now require more classical bits than there are atoms in the known universe. This is exactly what Feynman meant when he said that classical computers weren't scalable for simulating quantum mechanics. For a quantum computer to be of any use, you need to measure information from the qubits to get an output. The problem is, when a quantum system is measured, it collapses into a classical state.
if anything carries away information about whether that qubit is 0 or 1. So for example, if that information gets recorded in some radiation that's escaping from the quantum computer, then the effect on the qubit will be exactly as if someone had measured it.
To extract an answer from the quantum system that isn't just a random outcome of probability, like the flip of a coin, we have to use interference.
You can see interference when waves in a pool hit each other, and one wave is above the surface and the other wave is below the surface, and they hit each other and they cancel each other.
Interference is just what amplitudes do when you add them up. If something can happen one way with an amplitude of a half and another way with an amplitude of minus a half, then the total amplitude for it to happen would be 0. This is what you do in the famous double slit experiment. You close one of the paths and then you see that now the thing that previously never happened now can happen.
This is a quantum algorithm. Scientists can harness interference by creating a deterministic sequence of qubit gates. These qubit gates cause the amplitudes to add up constructively. This means that they're mathematically guaranteed to boost the probability of seeing one of the right answers.
You might ask, how could you possibly concentrate all this amplitude on the right answer when you yourself don't know in advance which answer is the right one? Well, this is exactly why designing quantum algorithms is so difficult, and why we have a whole field that's been studying it for decades.
Since 1994, there have been a few major breakthroughs in quantum algorithms, with theoretical applications in fields such as cybersecurity and search optimization. But according to most experts in the field, quantum computers are most likely to be useful for what they were born to do, when a curious physicist wondered about the deep structure of our world.
I find quantum computing exciting as a way to explore physics. Now, whether that's going to make anybody any money, whether there will be practical applications in the near term, that's still very much an open question. But at least for physicists, it's an exciting time.
The truth is, the most important application, I believe, of quantum computers is something that we don't know yet. I'm sure that once we have a quantum computer to play with, we will find amazing applications that we can't yet foresee.
Now, I know for many of y'all, I probably bored the fuck out of y'all with that shit. But that's okay. Because it's meant to bore. It is. It's meant to be monotonous. It is. But with that being said, what's going on, Tinfoil? What's going on? I see how they was treating you over there. But nonetheless, you probably asking why do I have it titled the Tribology between 2 points is polarity, because I'm talking about the science of friction, right? Remember, I was explaining the science of friction through what we call hold on, what the hell? Oh, there we go. But yeah, it's what we call tribology. So let's look at a small thing, because this is crazy, right? Adolf Hitler. I'm not going to show that one because it might get me striked or fucking put on a timeout or some shit like that. But Hitler used tribology. right? We finna go to a quick explanation of it. Let's go to him right quick. This not a good example. He's introducing a course. I just want no. What the hell was that? Let me back up. Okay, let's go to her.
Do you know what tribology?
See what I'm saying? I'm giving you practical information that will prepare you. Now I'm showing you first, I'm showing you properly how to use your crystals. Now again, I'm showing you how to prepare yourself for opportunity. Because if you go to just say a master mechanic and you mention tribology or anything of the sort, right? If he's a master mechanic, he would know. But 9 times out of 10, a mechanic is not an engineer. So you would have to bring this conversation to an engineer. And when you bring the conversation to an engineer, guess what? You probably done talked yourself into a job at a place where they pay very, very high. No matter what, you will assume that the taxpayers' monies is being taken away for this counter conspiracy theory or whatever the fuck, because niggas think NASA is a conspiracy. Niggas think Ford Motor is a conspiracy. BMW, Mercedes, fucking Fiat, all these they not the money. I'm talking about the car company, the Italian car company. These people think that these people are not real, and because of that, they wouldn't even know about this fucking science. So why did Didac bring this up? Because this is the science that it takes to make your crystals activate, you dumb motherfuckers. And I'm going to get to the time crystals in a minute, but let us finish what tribology is, because now here's another practical place you can practice it in shoes. If a motherfucker was a shoe designer, they would have to know how tribology works. They would have to know how that shit works, because we know that cleats activate different from actual tennis shoes that are on clay, on some type of what's that running mat they run around, that shit, the clay is different from that from grass. So you're gonna need cleats for grass, but because you so fucking stupid, you don't know why the cleat was made. You probably know why the cleat was who it was named after, but why? Who made it and why? It was made under the science of tribology. Let's move on. Again, I know I'm boring the fuck out of you, but I don't get no fuck. Because you gonna learn today, motherfuckers. Watching me, you gonna learn something. This is not no, I mean, sometimes I entertain the bullshit, but this is not a bullshit channel. It's not. This is a real channel with real education, with real practical shit. Even though I am from what they call the hood, you understand me? That does not fucking minimize what I'm supposed to know and what I do know versus the applying it, because I will be like any other sellout ass nigga if I decide to leave y'all punk ass motherfuckers behind, because I can. I can simply turn my back on you, become very, very successful. Because in some cases, that's what happens. Well, in most cases, that's what happens. When black folks become successful, they turn their back on the rest of you motherfuckers. And in hindsight, it's like when I'm looking at it in 2020, I'll be like, God damn, sometimes I don't even fucking blame them. Because y'all some hard-headed bitches. Y'all some y'all can get dumb as a motherfucker when it comes down to the person in your same rank and file. But it takes that white man to tell you shit. So let me move forward to what's going on. Like I said, let's visit time crystals right quick. Let's do this six minute right here.
A few weeks ago, I did a
Damn, I hope I wasn't fucking. No, I don't think I was quiet, but I don't know if y'all was hearing that. But god damn, man, sometimes I do be slipping and sharing shit. Cause this computer sometimes get to doing what the fuck it want to do, and I be hating that dumbass shit. But let's go again.
About time crystals. Now we all know what regular crystals look like. In a crystalline form, you have atoms that have a repeating structure. So they have a pattern that repeats itself in space. But what time crystals are patterns that repeat themselves in time. Now, the idea for a time crystal came from a man named Dr. Wilczek in 2010. He was preparing a lecture for one of his classes and thinking about crystals and how they repeat in space. And it didn't seem illogical to think about something that also repeats in time. So he started thinking, since there's such a thing as crystals in space, a repeating pattern in space, why isn't there such a thing as time crystals, basically atoms that repeat their pattern in time? So they're one way one time, and they're a different way a different time. Well, it turns out he was right. So here's what a time crystal would look like. So the first thing about a time crystal you'll see is that it has a repeating pattern in space. So you can see the crystalline structure here. It's definitely due to a repeating pattern of atoms inside of it that form this crystalline structure. But this also has a repeating pattern in time. Now watch if I just let this sit in my hand loosely. So the crystals are spontaneously flipping their position in time. So there's a repeating pattern with no energy input into it. So when regular atoms crystallize, they spontaneously organize into columns and rows in a three-dimensional lattice. And depending on what types of atoms they are, they create different structures.
In other words, these crystals are now inputted into the quantum computer. It is a self-oscillating computer. It is able to break the laws of physics. Therefore, everything that people are doing with the Oculus and Metaverse is going into now the quantum computers. The quantum computers is now going to start producing quantum intelligence and not artificial intelligence. We are past artificial intelligence. We are in quantum intelligence. We've been in that for a very long time. And with that, this is exactly what's going on. These time crystals, which are made up of a very rare, very rare metal and crystal coming from the planet, because this is what they call rare, very rare metals of the earth. It comes from a metal called lanthanides. We ain't gonna look that up, but what we gonna do here is that I'm finna show you where my name comes from. I'm finna show you where my name came from. So let's look at, how long is this? 10 minutes? Let's look at this.
A superhero ahead of his time, pushing the boundaries of technology both in its production and the stories it told. One of the most expensive television shows created by one of the most successful television producers in history, who I promise you will receive no special treatment from me. Cutting-edge special effects, action, humor, fighting, dancing, a glow-in-the-dark Lamborghini, canceled after one season of ratings that...
I don't like the way he explaining shit, so we gonna move past him. He sound like a goddamn critic. But what I want to do is, I do want somebody to explain what the show was. You know what? Let's go ahead with his goofy ass and let him finish explaining this shit. Let's go.
A superhero ahead of his time, pushing the boundaries of technology both in its production and the stories it told. One of the most expensive television shows created by one of the most successful television producers in history, who I promise you will receive no special treatment from me. Cutting-edge special effects, action, humor, fighting, dancing, a glow-in-the-dark Lamborghini, canceled after one season of ratings that today would make it the most popular show on television. Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is the history of Automan. Automan was a live-action television series that ran for one season of 13 episodes from December of 1983 to April of 1984. Walter Nebeker is a computer programmer who craves action while working for a police department that relegates him to an office full of blinking lights and dot matrix printers to try to put his nerd skills to use. In a classic "I'll show you who's a nerd" move, Walter writes a program that incorporates some of the greatest crime-fighting and popular culture personalities of the day. His execution is so perfect that it literally comes to life like an altruistic digital serpentor. My man solves the equation of artificial life and intelligence, creating a computer-generated holographic crime-fighting superhero that can leave the digital world. It has super strength, can phase through objects, dance like John Travolta, and curse like John McEnroe with 2 gigs of memory total to spite his boss. Automan, the world's first automatic man, is a hologram come to life. He has all kinds of superpowers that manifest themselves as the plot demands, kind of like Golden Age comics, where if the hero can think it, he can do it. No predicament is too complicated that a writer can't figure out a new power to get him out of it. That said, most of the episodes feature Automan using his accessory Cursor to draw various vehicles and weapons to use in his war on crime. Cursor is the Tinkerbell to Automan's Peter Pan, another artificial intelligence Walter just incidentally created on what has to be the most productive day of employment ever. The most frequently utilized piece of cursor-generated technology is the auto car. If you understand the naming convention of the Batmobile, then I don't think I have to explain this to you. Like Batman, Automan had a whole digital garage of vehicles, including a helicopter, a motorcycle, a jet, and Cursor even made a tank at one point. Walter Nebeker and Automan are part dynamic duo, part ego and alter ego, part man and Iron Man. They frequently team up to fight crime side by side, but at the same time, Walter created Automan to be everything he isn't. Tall, strong, charming, and one of the handsomest men on TV. But when the mission called for it, Walter could also wear Automan like a digital supersuit, not unlike Tony Stark with his Iron Man armor, allowing Walter to truly live out his dream of being a superhero. Automan was created by Glenn A. Larson, a name you might recognize from the laundry list of other pop culture series that bared his name. The $6 Million Man, Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers, Quincy, Manimal, The Fall Guy, Magnum P.I., Knight Rider, and lots of others, including reboots of a few of those properties. Glenn A. Larson is, however, unrelated to actress Brie Larson, cartoonist Gary Larson, or Hi, I'm Dan Larson. Glenn was a prolific creator, writer, director, composer, producer, but he was also accused of being an idea stealer. Star Trek writer Harlan Ellison referred to him as Glenn Larceny, which It just doesn't sound that funny. I don't get it. The TV Western Alias Smith and Jones, which ran from 1971 to 1973, people said was a knockoff version of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, the 19...
Now he's veering off from the point, because the point I was telling you is about the Automan. Even back in the 80s, they had quantum computer intelligence. And the way it was written on the show, the Automan, is what we are experiencing now in the metaverse. And it will soon be to the point where it may jump out of your screen, but that's where they're trying to say is what's going on. So all in all, time crystals are this driving force that's in these computers. In order for these crystals to work, friction has to take place. And for the people who sell the crystals and who promotes them, they ain't showing you how to use them. Like I said, I showed you from before. And it's an episode of Family Guy where Peter go, la, 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 joke's on you. And that's what they've been doing. They've been pulling the wool over your eye, and the joke is on you. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take me a little 5-minute break. I'm going to play this music, and I'm going to get back to it.
Free Band Sunny in this motherfucker. Original Black Migo gang. Yo, miss.
Metro Boomin want some more, nigga.
That make me go and get the race. I'm trying to dodge another case. Or the ace of spade by the case. Tell her shoot the nigga in his face. I keep a pack of wolves by the safe. I ride the bank, I'm going on the chase. I keep the styrofoam, they going crazy. I got my chains on it like lasers. And you gon' make me go and get the carbon. And I was taking back when I was starving. And I ain't looking back with these fortunes. I'm picking up hella endorsements. My chain is yellow on yellow. My bitch, she yellow on yellow. In the kitchen remixing this yellow. They run out of red, I'm drinking on yellow. Tell me you came with the fetty. Tell me you came with some fetty. Tell me you came with some fetty. Tell me you came with the fetty. Tell me you came with the fetty. Tell me you came with some fetty. Tell me you came with the fetty. Tell me you came with some fetty. Fetty. Reincarnated Machiavelli. Out of my brigade prison. Presidential with a business. And I'm sharper than machete. I done made it, now I'm greedy. Taking the codeine is red. I shake it up in a Tahiti. 200, so sitting on the dash. The Billy's for making them crash. Sipping codeine, rolling grass. I don't agree what you're doing. I don't agree who you screwing. I put her open a trap house in Europe. I put her out, throw away all of my plugs. They run out of singles, I'm throwing on hunters. They make me go and get the race. I'm trying to dodge another case. Or the ace of spade by the case. Tell her shoot the nigga in his face. I keep a pack of wolves by the safe. I run the bank, I'm going on the chase. I hear the styrofoam, they going crazy. I got my chains on it like lasers. And you gon' make me go and get the carbon. And I was taking back when I was starving. And I ain't looking back with these fortunes. I'm picking up hella endorsements. My chain is yellow on yellow. My bitch, she yellow on yellow. In the kitchen remixing this yellow. They run out of red, I'm drinking on yellow. Tell me you came with the fetty. Tell me you came with some fetty. Tell me you came with some fetty. Tell me you came with the fetty. Tell me you came with the fetty. Tell me you came with some fetty. Tell me you came with the fetty. Tell me you came with some fetty. Tell me you came with the wax. Man, I'm about to flip me some stacks. Man, I'm about to flip me some racks. I had to flip me some racks. You can treasure and honor this. I'm the one breaking my promises. I started losing my consciousness. We creeping like Jeepers, creepers. They caught it, they sleep. They caught it, they got them so sleep. I'm planning on saving my soul. Ain't fucking around saving no hoes. I burn up as if that's a O. We can smell all this weed on my clothes. They make me go and get the rate. I'm trying to dodge another case. All the ace of spade by the case. Tell her shoot the nigga in his face. I keep a pack of wolves by the safe. I rock the bank, I'm going on the chase. I keep the styrofoams are going crazy. I got my chains on it like lasers. And you gon' make me go and get the carbon. And I was taking back when I was starving. And I ain't looking back with these fortunes. I'm picking up hella endorsements. My chain is yellow on yellow. My bitch she yellow on yellow. In the kitchen remixing this yellow. They run on the red, I'm drinking on yellow. Tell her you came with the fetty. Tell her you came with some fetty. Tell her you came with some fetty. Tell her you came with the fetty. Tell her you came with the fetty. Tell her you came with some fetty. Tell her you came with the fetty. Tell her you came with some fetty.
Again, I follow producers and not the rapper. But if the producer likes the rapper, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to like him too. But with that being said, getting back to the motherfucking program at hand. All right. Let's look back at this. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. For people who don't know what light is darkness and brightness plus illumination. What I just got finished explaining about the tribology, it's called triboluminescence. Is any time where shit comes into friction and creates an energy source. This is okay. I hear people try to make it as simple as they possibly can, but because they are doing that, that lets me know that they can't apply it. Because it's not just as simple as one thinks. Because if you try to do that, then one cannot think what it applies to. All right. So, like I said, no one in the conscious community that I've seen, actually told people that rubbing crystals together will create a luminescence in which it's energy that can actually be used versus just putting them under the sun and ripping your ass off and making a joke on you. La 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 la. Jokes on you. La 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 la. And I know that shit hurts. I know it hurts. You know, and this is crazy. I expect my numbers when I educate, it's going to be low because people just don't have the tolerance to sit in the classroom, right? If the students today had a choice, which they do, but given the fact that it's not practical, ethical, or has any kind of moral to it, but if kids had the opportunity to not go to school and not go to class, they'll do that. Only time they will probably go to class if the teacher allows them to be clowns, meaning they can congregate in the classroom, not pay attention, talk about other shit other than what the classroom is made for. That's the only time that a student will find and draw interest in the class. I'm talking about the dumb kids now. Other than that, they'll be ready to walk out of the classroom, period, point blank. They'll come in, they'll see that the teacher is teaching real pertinent shit, and some students are actually sitting down and learning. They'll peek their head up in there and walk the fuck out when it comes down to education. But if it's paper balls flying all over the place, spit balls, and niggas clowning and standing on top of their desk. Nigga comes in, they'll come in. They entertained by that shit. There shouldn't be no way in hell that my viewership on my pimp classes, and I'm putting this out there to you motherfuckers, there should be no way that my pimp classes are not outweighing the addressments. Because I see now people like that bullshit, and I'm not about that. I'm quit. That was probably my last fucking addressment in terms of that. Giving that shit, giving that business to fucking Red Squid and fucking Sanchez and Sir Drop. That's gonna probably be my last fucking addressment, because I'm looking at the numbers and I'm weighing in and I'm saying to myself, no, people ain't gonna know me for making react videos to people's clowning. I'm not gonna do that. But what I am going to do, I'm going to give out my information and what I know of the Agda, and this is what I'm going to teach on. This is the base that I'm teaching the Agda on. Rather, like I said, rather if it's one person who's listening or a million motherfuckers, I am happy with that. But like I said, if I'm looking at my numbers and if I'm looking at them correctly, I think y'all watching the wrong shit. And I'm going to stop giving you the wrong shit. Period. Like it or not. I guess if you want that entertainment factor, that yelling shit and all that shit, it is so many platforms. Because I have participated on these platforms. There's so many that you can go to do that. But not one of them platforms is giving you anything practical. Nothing. Nothing practical. No information that you can take out in your everyday life and use in terms of you may bump into somebody that has their hand on a resource that you need. And in order for you to forge a conversation with them, what you going to say? You know the earth is flat. You know that. Dumbass shit like that right there would deter any motherfucker, even though they think the earth is flat. You just don't come up with no dumbass shit like that. But the way that people are being taught, this is what they will do. They'll go to a meeting or some shit and scream out, I'm Aboriginal. I was never a slave. Dumbass shit like that. Or slavery never happened. You know, that's what they would scream out. And this is the shit that I have to deal with in terms of combating it. And I can't focus on addressing the individual anymore because it's bigger than them. What I need to do is focus on what the Agda can supply for the people in terms of who need it. And when they are met with opportunity, they are able to take advantage of it. Other than that, I can't do nothing for you, man, from that point. But this is the formula for what light is. Light equals darkness over brightness plus illumination. I'm going to say that again. Light equals darkness over brightness. That's where those two will clash at. The line that's in between it is called a vinculum. A vinculum. 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 And then you have the illumination. And you know a lot of things illuminates. And with that, darkness also illuminates, whether you know it or not. But with that being said, this is the formula for light. And I would debate anybody on this shit. So now that we got that out of the way, So now we know that tribology is the study of friction, wear, and lubrication. Designing of bearings is the science of interacting surfaces in relative motion, right? The model window is a prime example of tribology when you are interfacing with that surface and in relative motion, rather if you stroking your keyboard or tapping your motherfucking screen. All right. What goes off into tribology? What it got to do with quantum computers? Because quantum computers takes this crystal that goes through this tribology. Now you can just take your two regular quartz crystals, like the uh, um, demonstration that I showed you. You can take the time crystals, two quartz crystals, and rub them together to create a luminescence, or what you would call light. That's what you would call it. So, in creating this light, that's a source of energy. That source of energy then can be applied towards shit. Now, it's how you want to harness it in terms of the directing it. Maybe you want to use it for heat. Maybe you want to use it for light to light up the room. Maybe you want to kill two birds with a stone. Maybe you want to heat the room and light the room up. And I'm using the word light to your definition. It's not light, it's brightness. To increase the brightness in the room. But none the motherfucking less, this was demonstrated already on how this works. So what time crystals do, they do it on their own. You don't need no machine to create the friction. You don't need no machines to create the energy. You don't need no machine to create the tribology. It'll just do it on its own in time and in space. Because we already know that it does it in space in terms of what crystals are. But they have not figured out on how to do it in time. And guess how they figured it out? The Agda, because it's a hidden science. Shit is still being discovered. No, there's nothing new up under the sun, quote unquote, but it's still yet to be discovered. And they're still discovering shit, like the quantum fucking computer. They just discovered that, even though they've been working on it since the 80s. And I showed you the reason why my name is the Auto Man, because they've been working on it since the 80s. Now they perfect the shit in the year 2022. And now we are in a place where motherfuckers conspire, like your fucking King Norfolks and Bobbies and the fucking Red Squares and all these dumb motherfuckers. They can conspire and talking about the world is coming to an end and all that shit. So they can conspire. They can conspire on the technology that's being born and saying people's souls are going to be sucked in order for them to even conspire that, this shit has to been created. So again, I showed you on my previous shit what time crystals is. So we revisiting this, like I said, revisiting to the time, revisiting a revisit in time, meaning that I'm talking about the time crystals. And I just got Phyllis illustrating that or demonstrating what time crystals was again. It's made up of very, very precious minerals of the earth. They rare of the earth. One of them is called ytterbium. Ytterbium is ytterbium. Ytterbium. No bullshit. Ytterbium. These are the atoms that's in this precious metal, which is actually crystal. It's lanthionized. This is what they consider to be the heart of the quantum computer. These are the things that make the computer go, to make it work, to make it go forward. This information in that computer is contribute to a science called tribology. And in tribology, it takes the two polars and put them against each other, the polarities. the negative and the positive, the up and the down, the left and the right. When these polarities go through tribology, they create energy. And then that energy got to be harnessed. And the people who harness those energies are called tribologists. They are the studies of people who studies friction, wear, which is called like wear and tear, lubrications, right? We just showed you with motor oil. That's the reason why motor oil is important in mechanics. And bearings. It is the science of interacting surfaces, right? Relating in motion, like your tennis shoes to the ground. These are typologists now. I mean, not typologists. These are tribologists. Now, just imagine if these motherfuckers didn't actually do their science and due diligence. You will probably think tennis shoes should have the soles of Timberlands. No, Timberlands have a very higher friction and traction to them because dealing with those elements, like if you're climbing a mountain or even a rocky hill or some shit like that, you need more friction on your shoe than you would with a tennis shoe. So guess who comes into play to make that science work? You motherfucking right, a tribologist, nigga. Not no Sanchez talking about sacred geometry. None of these dumbass niggas talking about take off your shoes and your feet need to be connected to the earth and all this and that. Okay, let's see how far your motherfucking ass will get barefooted, nigga. Especially in rough terrain. In rough terrain, oh, you're going to put something underneath your foot, rather if it's a banana leaf. If you think you want to do it, I put something natural up under my feet. Whatever the fuck you would put up under your feet. Whatever you would put up under your feet. You will put something up under that shit. That means that your barefoot theory will go out of the window once we have to travel. Once we start traveling and going over motherfucking terrain, shit. Your feet gonna be blistered up, nigga, and you gonna hurry up and come up with an invention for a shoe. So now here we are in 2022. Tribology is the science that gave us our soles on our shoes. So for the people who say the reason why the soles on the shoe is because they don't want your soul to connect with the earth. No, the reason why soles was created was for the fact that the tension on your feet versus some of the terrain would not mix, and especially when they start replacing your so-called grasslands. And I'm giving that benefit of the doubt because it was a lot of rocky shit around here. And trust me, going barefoot on rocky shit, no, you wouldn't do it. That's the reason why the motherfucking native wore the goddamn moccasin. But to say the least, if it was grassland, it got replaced with concrete. And when they did they test with human beings' feet on concrete, you need shoes or you wouldn't make it a mile without your feet being blistered, like bleeding blistered. So the shoe and the sole was created for that purpose. And the people who created the soles were tribologists. The study, let's see what the study of friction, wear, lubrication, and the designing of bearings, the science of interacting surfaces and relative motion. That's who the people who created your soles on your shoes. But you'll take them for granted. Because you know why? Because you don't appreciate what values. And because you don't appreciate what values, shit goes out of the motherfucking window when a motherfucker like me is trying to tell you where the science is coming from. It's the Og Dog, baby. Y'all cannot fucking run from it. Continue to have the streams that y'all having. Non-content motherfucking niggas. Because I'm almost to the point where I'm getting sick of motherfuckers. And I'm going to let everybody have it. In terms of that. And I'm not talking about calling a motherfucker up out of their name, which I really am. I'm calling you a dumb motherfucker. But I'm gonna call you out on this education shit, dude. I want that debate. I swear to God, I do. I'm waiting on. Did Sanchez go live? He went live, but he didn't open up his panel. I don't know if he live now. I don't know if he live now. If he is, I want to challenge that dude to a debate. The question is, do you think he'll debate me? Uh-oh, he is live. He went live at 9:03, so he been on for a good hour. Let's see if the link is dropped.
Because, like, again, that's why I said, based on that, Dreads, guess what we
The link is dropped because he got dreads on there. You know what?
Black woman myself.
I'm not going to double stream it because that'll be, I guess that's striking, basis for striking, especially when it's being double streamed or some shit like that. And I don't, that's the last thing I want to do is try to double stream it. But he's live right now. His topic is called Our Pro-Abortion. See, damn, I just went through that. You know what? No, I'm not going to go through that again. But I just told you what appealing to this fallacy called appealing to masses. They take button point things and jump on it. They will hitch their motherfucking wagon. They will hitch their motherfucking wagon onto what they consider to be a popular topic. Our pro-abortion advocates, evil feminists, video reviews and debates. Are BWs being used again? I don't know if he mean by black women. I think he mean by that. Are black women being, see these button top, and motherfuckers are eating this dumb shit up. You hear me? Dumb motherfuckers. I want to debate him on his flat earth shit. So I can put this nigga to bed. I can finally put this nigga to bed. Let me see what's going on. I'm listening to it. Unlike anybody else, I wait. I wait till the subject is proper, like he did when he opened up the panel for smoke, and I went up there. That was probably my opportunity, but I'm going to forge another one, or I'm going to wait for again. This is called preparation for the opportunity. This is what I'm talking about. My shit is on preparation. I'm going to wait for him to open his because it's going to be a matter of time. I'm going to wait for him to open up his panel for smoke, and then that's when I'm going to address him with the challenge or the debate. I want to set it up professional. 9 times out of 10, he might not take it. So I'm going to ask him for an improv debate from that point. And let's see if he willing to accept the debate. And I know for a fact if he do, he lost. Right at that moment, he know he lost. And considering that he came through the debate belt, like how motherfuckers go through the Bible belt. Since he came through the debate belt, he know how it runs. So there's no excuses in terms of the time that has to be given for one to get his information out. Rather, if he's doing slides or not, the interjections in terms of the timing of the interjections, because he cannot interrupt a premise or an opening. Now, if it's an open-end argument, that's the only time he can interrupt. But with that, it has to be with taste, to say the least, and within the confines of what he think is being contradicting. Right? Yeah, but yeah, Roderick, I'm not gonna go up there. I'm not fucking with it because it ain't format around him trying to accept smoke. But trust me, there is going to be a moment because it's a matter of time. Like I said, it's a matter of time that he opens up the platform for smoke, and that's when I'm going to fucking um challenge him on a debate. But right now, he's scot free. He's on this platform. He got people listening to him with this fucking button topic that he probably don't know two shits about. It just he just want to be a coon at this moment and just probably talk bad about black women. But with that being said, I want to challenge him strictly on the information, and that goes for everybody on that side of that fence. Because what I have been seeing lately, and especially after I did expose them, their cleanup campaign has kind of switched. Now, it usually be the usual cleanup campaign. They'll go back because Red Squid was doing one, a typical one. They'll go back, try to find the most humiliating thing to say about a person, or if they can line it up with anything that's humiliating. And that's what they would do for their comeback. But Sanchez, he has switched up in terms of how he does his, because what he would do now that I'm seeing it, I see a pattern. He will pile up on his pseudo teachings with information that is popular to the public, and nothing that is practical to the human being. This right here is not practical in terms of where we at in life. We need more practical information so we can combat this. Just say if this was a major problem in our neighborhood, flat earth cosmology is not going to help you solve this. So why would a flat earth channel have this shit on their thing? Because he can't solve that. He can't throw sacred geometry at that shit and solve it. But I want to challenge that dude. I want to challenge him. And I want to see how it's going to be receptive, because I got a funny feeling that it's not going to be received very well. It's not going to be received very well. And I think that he's going to more likely try to divert. And if any of his cronies speak up loud enough, that he's going to try to have them to try to debate me. And I'm not going to do that. I want Sanchez. I want the master teacher, because I want to kill this dude once and for all, because I'm the only one that can. Sarah Suit Seti, even with the setup of Sadnetter on Jabari, Minister Inky, Young Pharaoh, none of them can kill this dude. I see him go against Suave Boss. It was a few others that he went. No, nobody can kill him, but I can. That's the reason why his conversations with me are so short, because he know I'm the one that can kill him. So he got to make it short. He has to make it brief. He cannot have a conversation with me because he will get exposed. It's just like with Red Squid. I tried my best to have a conversation with him. It can be with contention, but still have a conversation with him on why he feel a certain way about HOTC. He kept knocking me off his panel. And then he got so mad and took my so-called moderator wrench away. Like I give two fucks about that shit. And then probably instructed all his moderators to throw me in timeout or even block me from his whole entire chat room. See, I vex people. I vex people to the point where this is how much I vex a motherfucker. You understand me?
Why so vexed? Why so stressed? I'm with your bitch everywhere I step. Money in the middle, split in the middle. 10 2, yo. Why so vexed? Why so stressed? With your everywhere I step. As he gang, money in the middle, mosh in the middle, split in the middle. Why upset? Why so vexed? Why upset? Why so vexed? Why so stressed? Mosh in the middle, fighting in the middle. Yo. Why so vexed? Why so upset with your bitch? Everywhere I step. Is he gang? Washing in the middle, 20 in the middle, split in the middle. Why upset? Why so vexed? Why so stressed? Why so vexed? Why you upset?
Nigga, why you so motherfucking vexed? Yeah. Why you so vexed? Yeah, I be having these niggas vexed. And with that, you can see them take their frustration out on me by hitting the X button, by throwing me in the back and silencing me and censoring me. So, like I said, the Sanchezians out there, because for the twos and fews, right? And for the people who do listen, I'm pretty sure they are listening. Because I did some damage. I did a lot of damage. And with that, I want Sanchez to have a debate with me. And that goes for anybody. I debate anybody, not on religion, on practical information. I tell you what, this is what I would debate. If it's a person who damn, it's nothing I can debate. What does the saying go that Dr. Henry Clark said? Debate my equals, because so far I'm trying to find them. But that's the only person I will debate is my equals, and everybody else I teach. And so far, I'm not looking at like I see peers, but when it comes down to this motherfucking information, mine's is like the shiznit, to say the least. Right? Versus anybody else's, not to take nothing away from anybody else's, right? Because okay, let's look at some practical information such as the Moors, right? They go around giving practical information in terms of sovereignty, right? Telling you how you can go down to the Department of Naturalization or the Department of National Security. You can file certain paperwork. You can get your shit back in terms that thereof. Is that in itself going to switch the mentality of the white man and the way he thinks of you? Is that going to allow you now raw material to where you can take that, extract it from the earth, and then turn it into refined material? Is this sovereignty is going to allow you this? Then I will concede that the Moors have the motherfucking way. But if it does not do this for you, and what it is not what you know, is who you know in these cases. And in the case that who you know, to forge this conversation to try to know these people, there is certain kind of fucking language that has to be spoken. Now, what language is that? Didac has given you the key on the language that needs to be spoken when you come across these people. Because trust me, you can take this to like I said, you can take this to a motherfucking boardroom meeting. You can go to an engineer's boardroom meeting and take my information and able to have a conversation with these people. But I don't think you can take sovereignty to these boardrooms. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna share something with you. I think tomorrow at 1:00, it's gonna be these niggas are scared of town hall meetings because yeah, that was another thing that I had with Sanchez because he said, "What the fuck you think you're gonna get done with a town hall meeting?" Well, we fit to see what we can get done because there's money out here to so-called beautify the neighborhood, like I was telling you before about these programs, blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to go down to this town hall meeting tomorrow and see how much money is available for my neighborhood. And with that being said, let's see if you do that to see if there's any money for your neighborhood. Or is it that you just sit in your fucking mama's basement, red square, and complain all day, doing 24-hour streams for 4 days straight? Fucking life do you have there, sir? Red Squid don't leave his house, nor do Sanchez. They don't leave their house unless it's an emergency. Other than that, them motherfuckers never leave their crib. But that's enough for them. Like I said, today's topic is tribology. It looked like the word tribe in it, right? Now let's put on our P.I.M.P hat now. Let's put on our Prodigy frequency unknown. What the fuck is a Prodigy? I already told y'all what a Prodigy is, but let's look it up again. Let me open up another window. But we're going to talk about our Prodigy right here. Let's look at the word tribe, right? And you see the word trib, right? That's associated with female dykes and shit, right? If you say that word in an urban setting, trib, you would get that definition that two women are doing scissors, right? They bumping each other. But that's to cause friction, though. That's where they got the name and applied it to the sex world. The sex world did not create that word and then we applied it to the scientific world. No, it's the other way around. You see how shit works? Again, I'm giving you preparation here, proper preparation, so you won't have a poor performance, man. But with that being said, tribe, because the correct prefix is tribal. That's the hold on, let me come back because I'm not even sharing the screen. That is the prefix, like I said, that's the prefix to the name Tribology. So when you see tribal, this word, when you see this word tribal, it's relating to friction. So what the fuck is a tribe? So you take the O and you replace it with an E and watch what the meaning turns into. We just playing a word game right now. A social division in traditional societies consisting of families and communities linked by social, economic, religious, and blood ties, with a common culture and dialect typically having a recognized leader. Tribal means friction. Tribe is a social division if tribes are not in friction. You ever heard endemic warfare? Let's look up what endemic warfare is. Ritual warfare. Ritual warfare, sometimes called endemic warfare, is a state of continual or frequent warfare, such find in tribal societies. Hey man, I'm tired of fucking teaching y'all shit and you take it for fucking granted. Stop taking my shit for granted. I am that triple master teacher. Yes, I am, baby. Yeah. And what happens with these people? They are in friction. They're clashing. Guess what it takes to study that? It takes a tribologist to study this. To study what? What are they studying, Didact? What the fuck does a tribologist, what the fuck a tribologist got to do with tribal warfare or endemic warfare? What the fuck do they have to do? Oh, they have to study the friction, the wear, and even the lubrication and the designing of the bearings. What do that mean? What do lubrication means? What is lubrication? Let's see if that can get applied outside of what is actual conventional science. Because look, the word tribo or trib is friction. They took that word. This is what you call applied comprehension. Now you becoming outstanding. Now you start to apply outside of what you think is conventional. They took the word trib and accounted it for in the sex world. So when women do the scissors and they so-called, gay capade or whatever the fuck they call that shit, they call it tribbing. Tribbing is a scientific word, meaning that this is the study of friction, wear, and lubrication. So let's look at lubrication. Because get your motherfucking minds out of the gutter. Because I'm going to show you in warfare where lubrication is at. Because you will call it peace at the time of peace. Because they would still hate each other, but they would still move around and about, but not causing friction. That's what the fuck lubrication does. Meaning that when gears are moving, they're not going against other pieces and other pieces of metal, but they still move in. They don't like each other when they hit each other, just like this. If the piston head just so happened to dry up, that what do they call that? Center block. The center block do not like heat. It hates heat. It hate getting hot. If that piston keeps rubbing up against that motherfucking center block, it's going to get hot. And guess what's going to happen? The integrity of the engine will break down. So what they need in between that is called lubrication. Use some dumbass remedial motherfuckers, because when you think lubrication, you think it only applies to oil and lotion. And no, motherfucker, in endemic warfare, a lubrication is at a time of peace, but it's still contention. It's like the Bloods and the Crips in the 90s when they were getting along. They still hated each other, but it was a lubrication in between these people. Spiritual, you can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it. So again, tribo. I just gave y'all a motherfucking moment of P.I.M.P. You can dance on water, and not get wet. I am too high for you to get over, nigga. Too low for you to get under. And with that, just to, because I'm at 2 hours and 40 minutes. I think that was good for today. A good teaching for today. I know it ain't gonna receive the numbers that my addressments would, but that's okay. But fucked up, because I would rather have those numbers on my motherfucking education shit than actually me addressing some silly dumbass niggas and showing y'all exactly who the fuck they are. But of course, you know you got fickle people. Let's look up what that word fecal means. Fecal. Fickle. You got people are like a pickle, but they are fickle. This is what happens. They are changing frequently, especially as regards to one's loyalty, interest, and affection. They are fickle. These people are fickle. All right. Now, if I'm doing my stroll flicker, nigga, I'm doing it with definitions. That's how I'm doing mine. I'm doing mine with motherfucking definitions. So now that we know what tribology is, now that we know the distance between 2 points is polar, meaning opposite, meaning plus, negative, multiplication, division, left, right, up, down. These are your 2 points, and the distance between them two is polarity. Now, with these time crystals, they're going to be able to activate with other crystals where they are so far remotely removed from each other. That's what quantum computing is doing. And then I showed you in that illustration. Y'all just going to have to go back on it. It was showed in the illustration where in quantum computing, these qubits are going to be so far apart from each other and able to communicate that where in regular bit code, it like 2 qubits equals probably like 50 motherfucking regular bit codes. So with these two, they're going to be able to stretch so far apart from each other, meaning that like I can send 15 servers information in a split second. You know how you can do it on your smartphone, how you can send like a picture. It takes so many megabytes and megahertz to send a picture over via text. Just imagine I got the Pentagon in terms of all the servers that's sitting in their basement. You'll be able to send all that information over in a zap. All of it, not category by category by category, because you know when you are trying to access files that big, you got a loading time, and in that loading time, that lets you know how much is being ate up or how much files are being flown over and all that good shit. Not with quantum motherfucking computers. All of that shit in a zap, nigga. Zoom. All of it. Ain't no loading up, none of that shit. Whoop! Just like that. Because the quantum particles, as they calling them, in a computer, that shit can stretch. So just say if I had a quantum computer in front of me and the server, to say the least, was running on quantum computer, no, I don't have, it's no wait. It's no loading time, none of that shit. And then with the time crystal, your computer would never, ever, ever need like internal power in terms of that thereof. Of course, you're going to need a lithium battery to run other shit like your screen, the light behind your screen, all that shit. But I'm talking about the computer chip memory. That shit is going to be forever oscillating and moving, building more and more and more quantum intelligence. We are past artificial intelligence, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in quantum intelligence. We've been in that for a long while, since the 80s. That's the reason why I showed the Automan. That's why I showed the Automan. But we've been in quantum intelligence since then. But motherfuckers are misteaching you like a Sanchez and keep telling you that you're in artificial intelligence. You're in the world of artificial intelligence. And you're not. We're in quantum intelligence, nigga. We long past that shit. And with that, this is what happens when you kill people on a shit. The crowd becomes this, changing frequently, especially as regards one's loyalty. These are very fickle people, and I understand that. That's the reason why my numbers like teeter-totter or go up and down depending on what I'm doing, who I'm talking about, and at the moment of the time, and meaning this. If I go to a Sanchez panel or I go to a Philly OG channel and I raise a question to where it turns into an argument, and then after the argument, it turns into a ad hominem show where they talking about me like a dog by kicking me off the fucking panel and then smoking on my motherfucking residue like a goddamn dope fiend. That prompts me to make a react quote. That prompts me to make these addressments. And guess what? The people that will be over there, they be looking forward to the shit because they are subscribed to me. And it's dependent on what I'm talking about where I will hold their attention. Obviously, this don't hold their attention very well. And that's bullshit. Maybe I'm being shadow banned, as the quote unquote goes. I don't know. But I do want people to get this information versus me just fucking telling Philly OG that he's a dumb motherfucker, because that's exactly what he is, but that's a waste. Okay, now that I went through that, I'm going to give you the cube again. All right. And I know it's going to go over your head, right? You know what I'm finna do? Let me look this up right quick. Let me pull this back up. Watch this. I think I probably still got it in here. Yeah, no, ain't. See, they know they love playing the game. Yeah. Don't think I got your cookie on this one, because I do. I got your ass on this one. Here we go. We just gonna go. No, isn't it here? Because you know I do like my little Wikipedia. But let's go here, though. All right. Ancient texts reveal Earth was ruled for 241,000 years by 8 kings who came from heaven. Ancient text reveals Earth was ruled for 241,000 years by 8 kings who came from heaven. Uncovered throughout the years, scholars, blah, 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 in Mesopotamia. I don't know why in the fuck it does that. God damn, man. This is crazy. See, this shit just, And all these goddamn pop-up ads. What the fuck? Rid of this shit. Is this shrunk? Okay, yeah, I guess this is as shrunk as it can get. In 5 cities, remember I talked about that 5. Remember I talked, because I'm going to break it down for you. The 5 cities, 8 kings, and 240 and 200 years, right? This is, then the flood swept over. This is before the flood. But I ain't finna go through all of that. I want y'all to do your due diligence on your own and start reading up on these 8 kings of Samaria. And say, who are the 8 kings? Right? No, Inky ain't up in this motherfucker. Bad Tabara, Shurapok, some shit. Sipar, Kish, Eridu, Mari. So y'all Moors may have some validity here. Wow. Then it's Adbab. Look, these 2 motherfucking names right here, Mari and Adbab. What is that? Adab. And then Isin. Wow. So it might be, you might have some validity, you fucking Moors. Huh. Let me look up who that Murray is, that king. I'm going to look up on my own recognizance. I ain't going to look it up now. But I'm just showing you the 8 king gods that rule. So this is the Agdad. Not only that they got that there, but the ancient Chinese and the ancient Japanese got a concept of the 8 gods and the 8 kings. And of course, you have Egypt. Of course, you got that. But let me show you this on my board. All right. I ain't going to give it all away at one day. So I'm just going to keep in the tradition of the numbers. I'm just going to keep it in the tradition of the numbers. All right. Watch the zig, zag, zig. Two, 4, 6, 8. Starting from here. Ending here. Do y'all see it? Let me try to race around it. I'm going to try my best not to hit that line, hit them lines. Can y'all see it? Let me get a red marker and go. Damn, yeah, I think I got one. Hold on. I'm finna show you something where it's the double rhombus. It's the double rhombus, and it's also the cube. I'm finna go from here. Keeping that 5 intact in the middle. Y'all see that? I know y'all see it. Damn it, I got another black marker. I thought I grabbed the red one. All right. I know you see it. You see that cube? You see that triple box too with the 5 right here being in the middle? You know my sign. You know my sign. You know my sign. Look. You know my sign. You see it. You know it. Let's look at it. Yes, you are looking at the triple master teacher. You see it. Let's go back. Where did that come from, Didat? Where did that come from, Didat? Comes from this. Real simple. The perfect matrix box. It's going to be 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. It's 16 of them all together, y'all. Do your math. Do your math. Digital Rudy, 6. Those 6s all around the corner gives you this. Vertex facing edge. Your 3-dimensional. Your 6. Now, what makes 241,000 so special? What makes this number, and this number so special? I know you see it. You see it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see it? Let's color these in. Let's color code them. 1, 2, 3. This is, hold on. This is, because it's supposed to be right here. It's right here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I know you see it. Am I done yet? No, it's not done yet. So you take 2, 4, 1. You know what? I got them written down. Hold on. One second. All right, I'm just going to have to look at the chart. 2, 4, 1, 8, 9, 6. 3, 3, 2, 6. And 4, 7, 8. Those are the 4 triangles. It's going just like this. That's 1. That's 2. Hold on. That's wrong. My geometry, that's wrong. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it straight. Let me see if I can get it straight. There we go. There we go. Hold on. No, I did this one wrong. I did this one wrong. Jeez. I don't know why I got that wrong. I don't know why it's forming that versus that. We learn it as we going, but trust me. Hold on. 1 second. I don't know why I'm sitting up here having brain farts, but I am. Let me get out my whip up my goddamn calculator. All right, let's get this right. Okay, 8 plus 9 plus 6, 3, 8, 11. I think this is 19. Let me double check my math. Let me double check my math. All right, everything checks. The math is good. Now we're finna digital root this down. Did I digital root it down, or did I add them up and digital root it down? First, we're gonna do it first like this. We're gonna digital root it down, and then we're gonna add them all up. All right, 7 as far as it can go. 2 plus 3 is 5. 1 plus 1 is 2. 9 is 10. 10 is 1. So here it is, right here. 3. That's 10. That's 15. When you do it like this, equals 7, equals 5, equals 2, equals 1. 15. When you do 8, 9, and 6, first let's go 2, 4, and 1. Well, it goes 2, 4, and 1. It can go either way, but it's going this way. 2, 4, and 1. 2, 4, and 1. Right here. So it's 2, 4, and 1. Then it's 8, 9, and 6. 8, 9, and 6. 3, 2, and 6. 3, 3, 2, and 6. That's 3, 2, and 6. And then it's 4, 7, and 8. Oh, I went to 1. 4, 7, and 8. You see that? So when I did that, I did it wrong. I supposed to did it like this. That's how I was supposed to do it. See, I knew I was doing something fucking wrong. That's what happens with the Ogdog. It allows you to correct yourself when you start getting shit wrong. When you start fucking up on shit, the Ogdog allows you to correct it. But let me get this in sight. Is it in sight? Let me see. Yeah, that one's in sight. But let me get this one in sight. Because what I was doing, I was completing the triangle when I didn't supposed to. See, when you're dealing with the Ogdog, it allows you to correct yourself. So with that being said, when they were talking about the 8 kings that came, the 8 kings that came, they ruled over 5 nations. And in those 5 nations, trust me, the 15 comes into play. Because remember, I went down with my numbers with you. We all know that 7 is God body. We know 7 is God body. They ruled for 241,000 years. So when I do that on the perfect matrix box, I come with the triangle that goes down. So that means heaven. Hold on, let me see something. That means heaven, earth. All right? Heaven, earth. What you want to do now is return back to heaven as you leave earth. But what happens in between that? Oops, that's the wrong one. Oh, no, that's the right one? No, that's the wrong one. What happens in between? What happens in between? Remember, heaven, earth. This is universe. This is the universe. What happens in between heaven, the universe, and earth? Or the cosmic? What happens in between that? The Ogdog will teach you what happens in between that. But that's going to be on a different course. Oh, shit. So what we have learned today, this is just a key for the model, from the model window. So for you to interact with the parent, you got to go through the model window. So I gave you a key to go through the model window. So now you can deal with the topics of tribology, the distance or the tribology between the points of polarity. Now you know how to use your quartz crystals and your other crystals. Now you know how to identify with quantum intelligence and where we at in computing. And what does it take to make this computer tick is what they call crystals. And one of the major ones is called a time crystal. So I gave you identification on what a time crystal is. So when you hear the genre, you already know what they're talking about. So in conclusion, because I went for 3 hours and 13 minutes. In conclusion, I just showed you the Ogdod and the perfect matrix. I also showed you some secrets that a lot of fucking mystic systems hold to their heart. Not everybody can have this. You will take this and you will blow the fucking world up with it, you irresponsible human beings. But I'm giving you a little something because we are past that, and now more than ever, we need y'all to possess this information, because now more than ever, we are in a time where we're gonna need you, motherfuckers. We're going to need you, and we're going to need you to be smart out there, though, and intelligent out there on the battlefield. You can't be dumb and mystified and to some bullshit that you can't apply, like that sacred geometry bullshit that Sanchez is teaching. This is the shit that you can apply. This is the shit that's going to get you from point A to point B. This is the shit that is going to be able to make you to take. You're going to be able to find minerals in the ground. Furnace blast that shit that you found in the ground. Separate the atoms in the material for what can be used or what can be wasted. you're going to be able to now develop an science that is practical that everybody can use. But with Sanchez, you ain't going nowhere with that shit. You stuck. So again, I just showed you in hindsight real quick who are the 8 Sumerian gods. We don't have to go up, but I am though, because that Maury and that Abadad, I think I said his name wrong, Abadad, those two names are striking. So I'm going to look up these king gods, Maury and Abadad, and see what they talking about. But other than that shit culturally biased. I would rather not deal with dogmatic, and it's problematic, dogmatic, zealous bullshit and information. Because if the Maury is what I think it is, I think the Moors who are absent, I'm talking about the Moors who are absent of this information, is going to jump on this shit and they're going to say, see, look, we was part of the science way back when. No, you the fuck you was not, but let's see if y'all were. And if it so happened to be, then I know for a fact what I've been saying. This double down on what I was saying. Y'all Moors gave that fucking European back to zero. You motherfuckers. So when they took that zero, they hitched their trailer to the Chinese and learned how to develop guns. You fucker. So if the Moors are responsible for antiquity and history, then yeah, I've been doubling down on this shit because somebody gave these hunkies the zero. Somebody did, and I'm blaming the Moors for that. And now they were able to develop quicker than we were able to, considering the fact that during the invasion, we split the shit up. It's like almost like the Dragon Balls. I heard somebody talking about Dragon Ball Z, but never talk about the Dragon Balls. They never talk about the Dragon Balls. Do you know that's a separation of the sciences? That's what happened in Africa. We gave it to China. We gave it to India. We even gave some to the fucking European. We gave some to the Arab. We gave some to all these people. But we didn't give it all. We kept the zero away from them. Because we know if they get all 7 Dragon Balls, they're going to pull a Frieza. You understand? We can't let them get all 7 of the Dragon Balls. And I'll be motherfucking goddamn if these dumbass Moors who are portrayed by the fucking Namekians. The Namekians are Moors in the cartoon. You know who Bobo is. These are all stolen African science, and guess what the cartoon is considered? A Japanimation, a Japanese cartoon. But that shit will fly over a motherfucking head because I heard them today talking on OG Philly channel. I got to say their names now. King Norfolk and a few other. They was talking about Dragon Ball Z and their hair. And they was trying to associate their hair with color code, right? The red, the blue hair when they get to they Super Saiyan God mode. I forgot the other, and I think it is an enlightenment mode or some shit. Then it's the super God mode. Then there's that supreme God, some shit. I'm at that point in my goddamn game, Kakarot, so I should know the shit. But I understand what they're saying. But that the color code in their hair is not as important as who they are in terms of the placement in time, who they associate with, like Best. Who the fuck is that bitch name? Best. Damn, I can't get. Why am I fumbling with their names, yo? Shit. Is Best. Weiss. There it is. Weiss. Best. All the other gods. That is what's important. Like Hit. Brody, even Reddix. All these characters are important because remember, their hair wasn't turning gold and all that shit. And remember, now, I'm finna tell y'all something, and I'm gonna leave this alone, and I'm gonna challenge him on this. Hey, if King Norfolk is listening, I challenge on your so-called color shit. Because if you was trying to use Dragon Ball Z as a prime example, yellow is the color of sun rays. See, this is what's hidden. So when we tell you shit, and you know what? And check it out, Roderick. I went through some shit, right? And like I said, with this dude, Ben Carson, he had no business doing what he did, but he did it anyway. See what I'm saying? He was showing what was hidden behind what you would call 3-dimension versus 4-dimension, or 2-dimension versus 3-dimension. He was showing you what was hidden. So when he had the triangle as his 2-dimensional, he was showing you what was hidden with that fucking zero, that asshole. Now, getting to the color code to apply it to you remedial ass motherfuckers. Yes, green is a primary color to you simpletons. To you simpletons. Yellow, red, and blue. Yes. I mean, not yellow. Green, red, and blue. Yes, that's for you simpletons. But for those who are masters of science, those who know what's hidden, just like how Ben Carson did that shit, when he showed what was hidden, I was mad about that because people are not ready for that in terms of application. But yeah, it's time to elevate the mind. So, I get over it. But in the meantime, these King Norfolk and all them motherfuckers think they coming up with some new shit talking about these color codes. Dog, do you know you're confusing the people just like Sanchez confusing the people about flat earth? First of all, when you're talking about green, red, and blue, that is for you simpletons in application in terms of what you think you know about primary colors. But yellow is the color of yellow is the color of sun rays, nigga. What the fuck you talking about? It's yellow, red, and blue. Those are your real primary colors. Those are your spiritual colors. Physical colors is green, blue, and red. Spiritual dimensions, spiritual 3-dimension is 0, 1, 2. Fuck, he let the cat out of the bag. But fuck it. Yeah, that's the spiritual 3-dimension. The physical 3-dimension is 1, 2, 3. That's the physical 3-dimension, 1, 2, 3. But the spiritual 3-dimension is 0, 1, 2. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all showing up. I appreciate y'all listening. And you know me, I like to close it out with some music. And like I said, I've been like on a little small kick as of lately, back to my Atlanta producers. Like I said, I follow producers and not the rapper. And if the rapper just so happened to if the producer just so happened to like the rapper, I end up liking him too. But for the most part, I follow producers. And like I said, it's been 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 27 seconds and counting. And with that, I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to play this song and go out on the bang. Go out in the bang.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
I got a last second, yeah, in the air. Say she feel like she on the elevator. Baby, I'm going up like an escalator.
I'm a fucking French, she's an escalator. She know I'm getting paper. Oh wait. Remember them nights on my Escalade. Now I'm waking up, bitch, I'm getting paid. PayPal me, did it straight to chase. Let me bust, I won't judge. Let me cuff like a plaintiff. I'm just playing, she complaining. TSA, I'm on a plane. She think this shit all a game. Everybody know my name. I just blew up on her maid. I just fucked her best friend. Well, the pussy was good, so well. She won't ever forgive me. Oh well, she won't ever forgive me. Oh well, that pussy was good, so well. She gon' fuck me better than yeah. That shit don't sit with you well. That shit don't sit with you well. That shit don't sit with you well. She gon' fuck me better than you, yeah. That shit don't sit with you well. Shit hard as hell. I got a leg shaking, yeah, in the air. Say she feel like she on the elevator. Baby, I'm going up like an escalator. Ay, I'm a fucking French, she's an escalator. She know I'm getting paper. Oh wait. Remember them nights on my Escalade. Now I'm waking up, bitch, I'm getting paid. PayPal me, did it straight to chase.
Yo, Pierre. Dog, that track is crazy. But like I said, this is the song. I swear, if I can do the editing shit, this would be the song for all these pseudo suspect ass motherfuckers that like to ride the bandwagon and hitch they thing onto whatever is popular. And if you didn't know, now you know. I'm telling you, I'm impeccable at this DJing shit and music selection. Not only that, I'm a musician, but I appreciate what values in music. That was Phil Collins' studio. Of course, I want to I want to take that and illustrate that and remake it called sus pseudo, because these motherfuckers out here suspect and pseudo.
A big, air, a friend, a money on, your family in cash, a beautiful flows, I stay at the corner, she is a living under a tune. Hey you losing your
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, music appreciation 101 over here. And I hear motherfuckers be trying to talk about music, and I guaranteed you, if I told them what the fuck a combo was, they'd look at me and say, huh? And I guaranteed you, if I told you that T-Pain used the combo in his first album and half his goddamn music, you would get mad. Because you know why? Because a combo is a fucking African instrument, nigga. And y'all hate that shit, anything that comes from Africa. You understand me? Yeah, y'all ain't ready for this shit. Yeah. Woo.
Hey you, you're losing your mind. Hey you, you're losing your mind. Hey you,
Hey, I bet you the algorithm is fucking trying to struggle to figure out what the fuck is this nigga playing. He ain't playing it long enough, goddammit. You better ask Siri's. No, what is that? What the fuck is that? Beat Shazam, nigga. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta beat Shazam on this shit.
bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. I want to ride my bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride.
Take two. Oh wait, oh wait, oh. Yeah, I'm gonna end this on a high note. Let me see what else I could get. What is this? Stroll flicker. I'm stroll flickering you through the phone. Oh, slow burn. I told you I was gonna play that song for you. Here you go.
That nigga trying to get his front end back. Nigga trying to get his European back.
Hey, you got some weed? You got some weed, Coach? You got some weed, young guy? Y'all got some zigzag? Any nigga got some zigzag?
Nah, man, I ain't got none shit.
Hey, where them little Twizzlers at?
Big Lynn, you got some zigzag?
I got them Twizzlers, nigga.
Nah, you gave him
Oh, ain't no nigga never got no zigzag. Every nigga want to smoke weed.
You know what? Niggas, the nigga that's asking for some fucking zigzag need to take their ass to the stove.
Excuse me. I would like to get some of them zigzags, the orange label.
Are you talking about
No, the slow burners, the can with.
Oh, I think we're all out. Say, Mr. Little Japanese man, I'm not gonna rob your liquor store, that's what I'm out here for. Say, I wanna flip for that VSOP and give me a pack of slow burner, please. He said the only thing I got is the regular or the Randy's, but I don't like the Randy's cause the wire shit is ramming. Fuck it, I might as well pay for the fifth. Went on my way and said, hey, have a nice day. Went down the street to Big Bob's Liquor. Say, do you got some slow burners and a couple of flickers?
He's talking about slow burning, 2825 Fahrenheit. You know them zigzags in the orange label.
So open up your morning light and say a little prayer for I. You know that if we are to stay alive and see the peace in every eye.
Yeah, just bit by bit. Just bit by bit. I won't even dare to do that one. Dun, 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 dun.
Outside, looking at fashion dying, emotion grows strong or tired, but it's alright, we can still go home.
You know what? I'm going to end it on this song, though. I am definitely for to end it on this one. No. Yeah.
Gorillas and the boss dog, planet of the apes. The revolution will be televised. And the pollution from the ocean, now with devotion, push peace and keep it in motion. Kids gather around, yeah, I need your focus. I know it seems like the world is so hopeless. It's like Wonderland. Now fascinate me, picture and animate me, cause I'm rolling, heat holding, click clacking, crack-a-lacking, full packing, more stacking, acting the fool when I teach. Welcome to the world of the plastic beach. Yeah. Welcome to the world of the plastic beach. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Boss dog, give it to him. Get involved. Turn it up, speed it up, slow it up. Underground, but he under us, undercut. Shipped up, chipped out. Swimming with the sharks with my gills up. Turn the wheels up, real tough. Drinking lemonade in the shade, getting blade with a gang of pilgrims. Yeah, this my path. Belly flopping, rocking while I'm rocking in the bubble bath. And I'm just like math. 4 zones added up to get you more cash. Yeah, so quick, so fast. All the kids say they love it when I make them laugh. Welcome to the world of the plastic beach. Yeah. Welcome to the world of the plastic beach. Welcome to the world of the plastic beach. Yes. Welcome to the world of the plastic beach.
Ooh, it's not fair to you. It's not fair to you. Thank you, Easy Yan 365 for showing up. Thanks, Schumann Show for showing up. Thank you, Shadow Band, D Calico for showing up. Thank you, Mind's Eye for showing up. Thank you, Mental Ninja for showing up. The Wisdom Show, better known as Wisdom Seeker, thank you for showing up. Tinfoil Media, thank you for showing up. Roderick Jakes, thank you for showing up. And again, thank you everybody who watched and who's going to be watching. Thank you for showing up.